Oh, 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 no. I don't need negative energy, wrap me in positive synergy. I have been doubted through life, been there and done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong, been struggling too long. This song is for you, I'm proving you wrong. Get out my way, get out my way, get out my way, get out my way. I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.
Early in the morning, I put breakfast at your table. I make sure that your coffee has its sugar and cream. Your eggs are over easy, your toast unlikely. All that's missing is your morning kiss that used to greet me. Now you see the juicy sour. It used to be so sweet, and I can't help but to wonder if you're talking about me. We don't talk the way we used to talk. It's hurting so deep. I've got my pride, I will not cry, but it's making me weak. I'm not your superwoman. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down and think that everything's okay. Boy, I am only human. This girl is more than occasional. Heart as a token of love from you. Ooh, baby. I found my way through the rush hour, trying to make it home just for you. I want to make sure that your dinner will be waiting for you. But when you get there, you just tell me you're not hungry at all. You said you'd rather read the paper and you don't want to talk. You like to think that I'm just crazy when I say that you changed. I'm convinced I know the problem. You don't love me the same. You're just going through the motions and you're not being fair. I've got my pride, I will not cry. Still I never I'm not the kind of girl that you can let down. Think that everything is okay. Boy, I am only you. I'm only you. This girl needs more than a digital husband. You know you're superwoman. I'm not the kind of girl that you can let me down, just let me down. Only you, only you. It's more than a digital husband. I can feel the love from you. Ooh, baby, look into the corners of your mind. I'll always be there for you through good and bad times, but I can't be the superwoman. okay, boy, I am only human. This girl needs more than occasional hugs as I'm talking out loud. If you feel it in your heart and you understand me, stop right where you are. Everybody sing along with me. I'm the kind of girl that can treat you so sweet, but you got to realize that you got to be sweeter to me.
Man. Now, listen. Before we get started, I don't want a whole bunch of emails mad with the mad red face or the mad orange face with the cursing words because y'all mad because y'all don't know who sang that song. Riri, I'm gonna start with you. Y'all young folk on here. I know y'all don't know, but let me. Now I know you Googled, but I heard you Googling while I was, playing the song. Who sang that song, Riri?
I don't even remember who playing it, to be perfectly honest, but I do know the song.
CJ, who sang that song?
Oh, I'm sorry. I've Googled it though. It's weird stuff. I mean, it's a jam.
It is a jam. Let me see who in the chat know who sang that song. Tiana Jr. said it. She said Karen White. That's right. Man, what y'all know about
but
that
who
right
sung
there?
the original though?
That is, hey, you said that's not the original?
That was a cover.
Oh, hey, that's the only version I know right there.
Gladys Knight.
Really?
Yes.
King Johan, what up, bro?
I just came for the motherfucking tapes, man. Stephanie Mills.
And also,
Oh.
Riri, per Google, Gladys covered it from her.
From who? Who did Gladys cover it from?
From Karen White.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
I don't know. Karen White wrote that, I think.
Karen White was 1988, and Google says that Gladys was 1991.
Okay.
There you go.
All right now.
Man, so
now you don't have to hate on this Google people.
Exactly.
I feel like they've been redeemed.
Yeah, y'all have been redeemed.
Thank
you. Welcome everybody to the live. King Johan, thanks for coming on, bro. I don't know if you just came on just to say what's up, or you gonna hang around a little bit, or whatever you want to do, brother. You more than welcome, man.
I know. I'm here. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna have you read a little bit then just to get it in here. All right, let me see who up in here rocking with us. What's up, Tiana? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. Tammy, what's up, Tammy? Shay, what it do?
Hey.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all?
Good. Welcome again. Thank you. Lady D, thanks for coming in. Davis Campos, hello. Shirley, hello. Conchita, hello. Let me see who else up in here. T-Bam 1, what up? Let's see who else. Nettie Boo, what up, Nettie Boo? What's up, Elsie? How are you? K-Love 92 in the building. Cherie Harris in the building. Angela Anderson in the building. Ty, what up, Ty? How you doing? Lesmit 1, hello. Everybody should have got their transcript from yesterday. If you didn't get it, let me know. But I think I went through and I tried to make sure I sent everybody the copy from yesterday. I know everybody gonna want today's with Lisa Van. Oh my God, I can only imagine. Let me see here. Daddy's Girl 1973. Hello, Latrice B. Hello, Bev Davis. Hello. Rocking with the Truth is in the building. Hello. The Unspoken Truth by the Unknown. Y'all, I just love this lady's screen. It is just so cool, right? Dorsey Forsyth, hello. Latrice B, what's good? Love is fair. What up, bro? Mertice Balaam, hello.
Flawless, what's going on? When your birthday, Flawless? Your birthday coming up, ain't it? Beautiful
It's
Winter,
tomorrow.
hello. Huh?
It's tomorrow.
Her birthday tomorrow, okay.
Yeah,
Jacqueline
I just actually
Jones.
said happy birthday early.
Cool. Sin Red, hello. Tony, hello. Let me see. I think I'm out of the end, y'all. We about to get this thing moving. Lady, I think I said what's up to Lady E. Sonya Davis, hello. And I think that's everybody. Kayla Dose, what up? How are you? Okay, DTA 30. Oh, that's you, CJ. All right, cool. Okay, y'all. So listen. Today, I can't forget Bratalia Jones. How you doing, Bratalia? Thanks for coming over. J. McBride, hello. Rocky Rock, hello. Thank y'all, man. Jewel Small, hello. Good evening. In the fine spirit. Thank you for coming over, Jewel Small. Thank you. Damien, what up? What up? What's up, Andrea Pergia? Hello. Okay, all right, y'all. I think we are good now. I don't think I forgot nobody. Sexy Red, what's up? Angela Duncan, Keisha Pace, Hazel E, what up? How are you? Welcome back. Okay, y'all. Think lasting impressions, West Coast Bells. Okay, Vanessa Vaughn, hello. All right, y'all. Let's get it. So today was I did not know that Lisa Van Allen was gonna get on the freaking stand.
Yeah. What?
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Man, listen.
She has to because she was in the original one too.
Indeed. We here for the look what Tiana said. We here for the muff. That's what it is, man. We really gonna get some t-shirts that say that, man. All right, so let me give y'all a recap on what happened today. As y'all know, I finally, hunkered down and bought that doggone Chicago Tribune members, you know what I'm saying? So I can get all the tea now, y'all. So let me go ahead and share this with y'all so y'all can see what the hell happened today. I like the way they summarize it here. All right, so if y'all want to jump in and help, that's cool. Former R. Kelly girlfriend testifies singer's associate suggested that they should have killed her over the sex tape. Hot damn. That's something that you do not want being said in the courtroom.
Right.
However, we about to read it. Let's see what they're talking about. It says a former girlfriend of R. Kelly sobbed in the federal courtroom Thursday as she testified that Kelly's longtime business manager told her in 2007 that they should have killed her instead of paying her to return an incriminating videotape of Kelly having sex with her and a 14-year-old girl. Lisa Van Allen, who is now 42, took the witness stand on the 9th day of Kelly's federal trial in Chicago, where the disgraced R&B, y'all hear, I notice how they always say disgraced.
They do. That's their word for them.
That's their word for them.
Every time they try to tear us down, they do.
Now, see, Daryl McDavid and Milton June Brown are accused of conspiring to pay off witnesses and buy back sex tapes and hide years of Kelly's sexual misconduct. Van Allen testified that in the late 1990s, she had sexual contact with Kelly and his underage goddaughter at the behest of the singer, who also filmed and directed their encounters. After she took one of them tapes and sent it to a friend in Kansas City, Kelly offered her $250,000 to get it back. I got a quick question for y'all. I hear other bloggers, I hear other channels say that is not Rashana Landfair on that tape. Now, here's my question. I've asked this many times on my channel. Okay, number one, who, why, how, when, and for what reason would anybody pay somebody $250,000 to get back a tape that they not on?
And if the tape wasn't nothing bad, if he didn't feel like it was going to be something bad, so he knew it was wrong, because if he didn't think it was bad, he wouldn't be trying to pay nobody that amount of money to get it back. Let's talk about it.
But that's not the only amount of money that's not all that he's paid, though, to get that tape back was not just $250,000.
Yeah,
he done put out some money.
Showtime to go get them tapes and do all of that. That's just telling, baby. It's telling because I'm not paying
And he's
$2
paid.
for a tape that I ain't wasn't on.
And didn't he pay McDavid and the other dude that's on trial with
Child,
him
he
too for
paid
going to get it?
everybody.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
he
putting
paid
out
any and everybody to help him get them tapes.
exactly.
Now, I'm not trying to age nobody here, but I'm gonna ask y'all a question. How much did it cost back then for a regular VHS tape?
I think about
About
$7.
$5.
Right.
$5. You
No,
can
I
get them.
mean I feel like you could get some at the dollar store.
Yeah,
It
you
Yeah,
would
can
they
be
get.
had
only like
some at
a
Dollar
30
Tree.
or 60 minute.
Was
Some-
it dollar stores
Somebody
back
turned
then?
that. Somebody got
Triple
another device
phase.
playing. Turn down the volume of the other device in the background. I can hear it. It's like an echo. Okay, so that $5.
It's still there.
Yeah, whoever somebody got that device, turn the other device down a little bit, or go on mute when I talk. Okay, there we go. So you mean to tell me that something that cost maybe $5 was worth over $1 million in payments?
Right.
He
So
knew.
it wasn't a tape.
He knew he fucked up. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. I told somebody I would not say a cuss word. I'm sorry. He knew he messed up. He knew. Let's continue reading this. He said that I failed the test and that they should have murked me from the beginning. That is, they should have killed her. After that, at McDavid, somebody still got the. I hear the echo. Okay. She made a false statement to a lawyer denying that she ever had any sexual contact with Kelly's goddaughter, who testified earlier in the trial under the pseudonym of Jane. He told me to say it, and I was afraid not to do what he asked, she said, then broke down crying, bowing her head as she held a shaking hand over her mouth. I never knew they were thinking about killing me. Van Allen said she was upset about that comment and told McDavid that she would tell Kelly about it. He said Rob knew everything that was going on, she said in an emotional voice. CJ, go ahead and pick up right there.
In an emotional voice.
Right there at the emotion at the
At the defense table, McDavid pursed his lips and turned to Kelly, who was seated behind him, and shook his head slowly. In a vigorous cross-examination Thursday afternoon, Bo Brindley, an attorney for McDavid, confronted Van Allen about her claim she was threatened, pointing out that McDavid was Kelly's business manager and suggesting it was all a lie. You didn't have any reason to believe that he was some sort of murderous accountant, did you? Brindley said. Brindley asked why, if Van Allen's goal was to keep people from seeing the sex tape, she didn't just destroy it after she stole it.
I think, CJ, it's your device. I can hear the echo what you talking behind it.
Oh, I was on before and it was happening.
Oh, did you have the volume down?
I don't have anything else playing.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Huh. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I could have if that thought crossed my mind, she said. She also denied taking the tape because she wanted to use it to extort Kelly for money. And perhaps a preview of McDavid's promised testimony later in the trial. Oh, he's going to testify? Okay. Brindley
hold on, hold on. I missed that.
And perhaps a preview of McDavid's promised testimony later in the trial. So he's going to testify on his own behalf?
So.
That's interesting. Okay. Brindley alleged there was never a tape of Kelly having sex with Van Allen and Jane. Instead, Van Allen actually turned over a tape of herself having a threesome with Kelly and his wife. Van Allen flatly denied that. Brindley also suggested that Van Allen is a serial liar and manipulator. A person who feigns emotion while lying to try to manipulate others, is that a person you should trust? Brindley asked. Van Allen said she didn't know what he was talking about. In past statements, Van Allen has consistently said she was 17 when she first met Kelly. On the witness stand Thursday, however, she said that while she thought that was the truth at the time, She now recognizes that she was actually 18.
And that's
Lord.
why
Br-
that's why the government took her off of being minor number 3, I think, and they put her as what, individual D?
1 or something, or whatever, B or C.
Yeah.
Brinley accused her of lying about being underage to get attention. You wanted to be a victim, he said, to sell books.
Ooh, shit.
The allegation started an uproar of reaction and commentary in the courtroom. On the witness stand, Van Allen shook her head and rolled her eyes slightly. Brinley also repeatedly questioned Van Allen about discrepancies in statements she made about the tape over the years. At one point, when he started asking her about her testimony to a federal grand jury in 2019, Van Allen started to cry. Brinley asked sarcastically whether there was anything particularly sad about asking her about her grand jury testimony. Yes. I'm tired of you asking me whether I watch child pornography, she cried. Brinley scoffed. At least twice, prosecutors objected to the questioning, saying Brinley was harassing the witness. And Judge Harry Lindenweber repeatedly told him to move things along more quickly. To illustrate his point about Van Allen's potentially inconsistent statements, Brinley displayed for jurors a clip from the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries. I lost my space. The docuseries. Okay. And for a time after the clip was finished, the screen stayed frozen on an establishing shot. So Van Allen was testifying with the Chicago skyline in the background. Jurors watched much of Van Allen's testimony intently, with many taking notes and some leaning forward in their seats, resting notebooks on the bench in front of them.
Thank you very much, CJ.
Mhm.
King Johan, if you want to jump in, bro, you can.
All right. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, we hear you.
Cool. All right. What she left off at? Okay.
Right there where it says jurors watched.
Okay. Jurors watched much of Van Allen's testimony intently, with many taking notes and some leaning forward in their seats, resting notebooks on the bench. Van Allen was controversial. Van Allen was a controversial witness at Cook County.
All right, yo, King Johan. I think you might have that SpongeBob phone service, bro.
Hold on.
I'm gonna have you come back in.
What about now?
Read a little bit. Start from Van Allen was a controversial. You hear me, bro?
Are you on mute?
I don't know. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna let him get his connection together. Shay, can you jump in and read there?
What about?
It's still cutting out, bro. Sound like you underwater. You might want to have to go out and come back in. That might work.
Yeah.
Shay, you want to jump in? Yep.
Okay. Van Allen was a controversial witness at Kelly's first criminal trial in Cook County 14 years ago, which ended in the singer's acquittal. Like then, Van Allen was testifying Thursday under a grant of immunity from prosecutors. Van Allen testified she met Jane, Kelly's goddaughter, in 1998. Jane would have been around 14 years old at the time, but Kelly told Van Allen she was 16, Van Allen said. The three of them had 3 sexual encounters over the next 3 years, Van Allen testified, and Kelly filmed all of them. Van Allen used her hands to mime for the jury the way Kelly would set up the tripod and video camera. At the beginning of her testimony, Van Allen was calm but somewhat nervous, swiveling in her chair and pausing often to sip from her water bottle. I said water. Water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
When she began to discuss the sexual contact with young Jane, her face grew very somber.
Hey, it's hard to hear you, Shay. You got a crackling noise in yours too.
Oh Lord.
You had fixed it yesterday when you came back.
Okay, I'll be back. I just went out and came in. I didn't do nothing.
I think she used her Bluetooth or something.
Oh, I did use my AirPod for part of it. Let me get my AirPod. I'll go
All
out
right,
and come
I'm
back
gonna
in.
jump in real quick and wrap this up.
Okay.
During the second film threesome in 1999, Van Allen began crying because she did not want to participate. She testified. Kelly said, What was he going to do with this? I guess because it wouldn't have been good footage to watch if I'm there on there crying. An encounter in 2000 was interrupted by Kelly's team. Van Allen said Kelly ordered Jane to hide in the bathroom. She testified a request he did not make of Van Allen. The same year, Jane told Van Allen that she would be getting a PT Cruiser for her 16th birthday. Van Allen was upset since she had been under the impression that Jane was 16 years old 2 years earlier during their first sexual encounter. She testified. After that, Van Allen said, "I didn't want to do any more threesomes. I didn't want to do the first ones, but I definitely didn't want to do more encounters because she was 14. She had to be 14." Let me let somebody back in. Okay, there we go, Shay. All right, you back in. She had to be 14.
Okay.
Kelly would carry his sex tapes with him in a duffel bag, Van Allen testified. And at some point around the year 2000, she realized she was alone with the bag and went looking for any tapes that she was on. "I didn't want him in possession of them," she said. "I didn't want him looking at them or having them in his possession." Van Allen gave the tape to her friend, Keith Murrow. She testified. You want to jump in, Riri, right there?
Yeah, as soon as you stop scrolling. Hold on one second. I'm getting back to where it was.
Okay.
Is it the top?
It wasn't until 2007.
Okay. It wasn't until 2007 that she heard that there might be copies of the tape for sale. She grew worried. She said she did not want it out there and thought Kelly would help her get it back, she testified. He had an upcoming trial for a similar tape, and on this one is actually an upcoming trial for similar tape, and on this one it actually said how old she was. She said that Allen met Kelly at his Olympia Fields mansion, where Kelly got in the hot tub with her before offering to give her $250,000 to get the tape back. He also told her to deal with McDavid from this point forward, she testified. After that, she and Murrow bought the tape back and took a series of polygraph tests, she said. They got some of the money from McDavid in return, and Van Allen was told that they would get the rest after Kelly's trial, she said. After McDavid told her she had failed the third polygraph, she testified. He made the comment about how they would have just killed her. Van Allen testified Thursday that she met Kelly in 1998 when she was 18. She was introduced to him at the video shoot. I lost where we are when you moved it up. Sorry. At the video shoot, and not long after began traveling to meet him in Chicago, she testified. Soon afterwards, she moved to Chicago outright and began a romantic relationship with Kelly. She testified. Kelly kept her making her miss her flights, making her miss her flights when she visits. She said, "I told him."
Okay, I'll let you halt right there. If you could jump in for me, please, CJ. I told him.
Okay. I told him I couldn't keep missing my flights. I'll get fired, she testified. He asked me, what did I make? And I told him. He ended up just giving me the cash. Kelly would direct her on what to do and what to say during their sexual encounters, she testified, and would often videotape them having sex, particularly when they had threesomes, she testified. Kelly did not allow her to speak to or make any eye contact with other men in his presence, she said. He would hit her if she didn't, quote, listen to daddy, she said. Kelly, 55, is charged with 13 counts of production of child pornography, conspiracy to produce child pornography, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. McDavid and Brown, according to the indictment, schemed to buy back incriminating sex tapes that had been taken from Kelly's collection and hide years of alleged sexual abuse of underage girls. Jurors in the closely watched case have so far heard from 14 other witnesses, including Jane, who testified last week Kelly videotaped sexual encounters with her when she was just 14, then pressured and ultimately paid off her and her family to remain silent. Clips from 3 of those videos were shown to the jury on Friday. This week has been dominated by another key prosecution witness, Charles Freeman, a Kansas City merchandiser who told the jury Kelly and his associates agreed to pay him up to $1 million in the early 2000s to hunt down other incriminating videos before they could be made public.
Whew, let me tell y'all something. The way that these reporters are putting this stuff out, it has been like a doggone movie.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's over 1.2 million right there, just with those 2 victims that those 2 people that he was trying to pay off for a
Indeed.
videotape that didn't exist.
Indeed. All right, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get into what y'all are here for. So we about to get into it. What up, James Harris? Miss Mo, what's good? How are you? All right, y'all. Here we go. So let's see where we are. Now we was on we had moved on to we finished Friday, right? So we were starting on the 23rd. I think, yeah. We at the top
Yeah.
of the 23rd. Okay, perfect. Let me share this with y'all. And we're gonna get straight to this, man. Okay, King Johan is back. You good, bro? You're on mute, brother. You're on mute. All right. Here we go. So this here is August 23rd. So this is the day before yesterday. We're gonna get straight into this. We're gonna go ahead and hit it hard.
All right. How I'm sounding now?
You better, bro. Way better.
Oh
Way
yeah.
better.
See that? I knew that wasn't me. I ain't got no Obama phone.
Neither do I, but he clown every time.
Hey, look, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Hey, look, he done had his hands in some of everything. We don't know what's going on.
I think
He
it's
gonna
him with
clown
the
everybody, but
Obama
hey,
phone.
I wish I
Right.
had one because I don't want to pay AT&T no more. I'm gonna keep it a
Man,
buck with you, honey.
who you telling? All right, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and get this started. So it looks like Miss Pozzolo, that is the government. So let me see. So we'll have you, CJ, start out as the government, okay? And then me and King Johan will flip out between the men. Whoever I'll stay the judge, and then we'll go back and forth on the men if we got witnesses or whatever. Riri, I want you to predominantly be Bonjean today.
Okay.
And let me see. And I got CJ. Well, I say CJ government. And then we got Shay. Shay, I'll have you. We're gonna see what's going on. We'll switch out in and out. If it's too much, then we'll switch you out with Bonjean, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna start this thing off, y'all. Before we get started, let me just give y'all a warning that there's a trigger warning. Some of this stuff that we read, it may trigger some people. It may. There she goes, Tanya with the T.
Hello.
AKA
Sorry
Sleeping
I'm late.
Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty is here.
She was a big girl last night, though.
She
Oh
was. She stayed up past her bedtime, didn't she?
I
Yeah.
made it almost to the end.
You did.
Almost. Oh my god.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
I had to play that for the
Yeah.
girls at work. They said, "Oh my god, we're gonna so listen now. We're gonna
There you go.
see. I'm
So
getting you subscribers that way."
hey, I appreciate it. So check this out. So the way we're going to do this is whenever someone's reading, if you're not reading, we'll have you pause just to make sure we don't have any interruptions or cackling or anything like that. I did want to put up here that it was a trigger warning. Some people we may read some stuff that may trigger some people. We do have some of the victims that are in this case do watch this channel. So we try to be cognizant and understanding of that. Okay. However, just, if we read something that triggers you, take a break. click off, go get some fresh air. You can come back and listen at that time. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. I will start off as the judge. A couple of times before we get started, one of the is that the government filed a motion to permit minor 5 to testify under an abbreviated pseudonym.
Your Honor, if we may do this at sidebar, please, and have this portion of the transcript sealed. Our motion was sealed.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
When is the minor testifying?
Maybe as early as a couple days, maybe Thursday or Friday.
We don't have to do it right now then.
Okay.
A couple of other items. The lawyers I've been advised are supposed to get tested. So at your convenience, probably before court tomorrow morning, maybe you can stop down and get tested. It's free. The other matter is that I remind you we're quitting early today, 2:00. And if nothing else, we will bring the jury in and cross-examine Mr. Birkeland will take place.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but in case we don't break before one witness, I want to place an objection on the record. We'll probably will break, but I believe that we're going to have testimony from Charles Freeman after this witness, and I think that there's another polygraph type of witness, and I anticipate that Mr. Freeman is going to testify about statements made to him by Jack Palladino. So, first of all, I would argue that I just want the court to be aware that it's our position that the government has not made a prima facie showing any of the conspiracies thus far with Jack Palladino. So any statements would be hearsay. And as to Keith Merle and Lisa Van Allen, our position is similar, that they've not made a prima facie showing of the conspiracy. All they shown is that Chuck Freeman, Keith Merle, and Lisa Van Allen were in conspiracy with each other. So with that in mind, I just wanted to flag that that's our position and that would be hearsay. So I don't know if the court wants to take that up now, but I just wanted to put that on record.
Okay.
Your Honor.
You don't need to repeat that objection. The government, do you want to respond to it?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor ruled in granting the government's Santiago proffer that there was indeed a prima facie showing that there was a conspiracy to obstruct, and that was, as alleged in the superseding indictment, the co-conspirators are individuals A, B, C, and D, who are Jack Palladino, Chuck Freeman, Charles Freeman, Keith Morrell, and Lisa Van Allen.
All right, then the objection would presumably be overruled. So it's been, you don't need to repeat it unless you wish to. Let's see. I think that's it. So we'll bring in the jury.
That person's defense. Does someone else want to read it? I'll read all that.
Yeah. Tanya, can you be misjudged right now? Or Shay? I'm sorry, Shay was here for Shay. Can you be misjudged right now?
Sure.
You,
okay.
Judge, if I may ask one question, I just want to confirm that you don't want us all three. You don't want us all three of us, all three defendants, to make objections. Once one defendant has raised it,
right,
it counts for all of us. It's standing for all of us, correct?
It's my understanding that you've been jointly or not jointly in the legal sense, but you're all indicted under the same, only the counts at which you would, need to object to. But we'll have one when objects. All objects is probably the easiest thing to do so that you don't have to worry about it. Do you want to bring in a jury, please? Who will do the cross? Okay, Mr. Glossman. All rise. All right. I'll let you go ahead and step in. King Johan, you'll be Mr. Glossman. You are. And now just
Mr.
say,
Glavin.
please be.
Where's it starting at?
Can you see the screen? Can you see the thing on? You'll see where it say Mr. Glossman. That's what you'll read.
All right, cool.
So you'll pretty much be doing all that. Where it says Q, those are the questions. A is
right,
there
bet.
for the witness. All right. Please be seated. Good morning, members of the jury. When we broke last night, the government had completed its direct examination of Lawrence Berkland, and we're going to pick up with the cross-examination. It's my understanding that Mr. Glossman, you are going to do the cross. Is that correct?
Yes, correct, Your Honor.
All right. Lawrence Berkland, government's witness, previously sworn, cross-examination by Mr. Glossman.
Oh, you got scrolled up some. All right.
Okay. So you started off. Good morning, Mr. You got the cue.
Okay. All right. Good morning, Mr. Berkland.
Good morning.
You are a voice stress analyzer, correct?
Correct.
It's kind of like a polygraph test just for the inflection of your voice.
Right.
And you testified yesterday about one that you did back in 2001, correct?
Correct.
Does August 23rd, 2001 sound correct to you?
It could possibly be.
And this was done down in Kansas City, correct?
Yes.
At the Alameda Hotel, am I saying it, or Plaza?
Yes.
And to set this voice stress analyst test up, you were contacted by an individual who said he was an attorney, correct?
Correct.
And he represented an entertainer out of Chicago. Is that right?
Correct.
And you're a former police officer in Kansas City, right?
Correct.
So an attorney contacted a former police officer to conduct a polygraph test in this case, correct?
Correct.
And that same attorney that contacted you was in one that met you at the hotel in Kansas City on August 23rd, 2001, correct?
Correct.
And this attorney, he didn't show up by himself, right?
No.
He had two individuals with him, right?
Yes.
And both of those individuals were off-duty Chicago police.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Oh yeah, you got scroll up. Was off-duty Chicago police officers, isn't that right?
Yes.
So just to make it clear, there were 3 people total that showed up on behalf of this entertainer from Chicago, right?
Correct.
There was the attorney and the 2 off-duty police officers.
Yes.
And so in total, there was the attorney and 2 officers off duty, and then you, a former police officer, conducting this stress analyzer test, right?
Yes.
Okay. And it was an attorney that told you what to ask the subject about, correct?
He gave me a brief outline. Yes.
The attorney did, right?
Yes.
And it was the attorney that ultimately paid you for the work, right?
Yes.
Does the name Jack Palladino ring a bell to you?
Doesn't really ring a bell.
Doesn't ring a bell. All right. But at some point, you testified that the subject that you did the voice stress analyze test on pulled a videotape out of his pants, right?
Correct.
And he just left it on the table in front of you and went to the bathroom, right?
Yes.
And you got to look at the video, right?
I just watched it on the desk.
You just watched it on the desk and nothing on it said what was on this video, right?
No.
And this person had no problem just leaving this videotape around you, right?
No. Once he asked if it was okay.
At no point during this voice stress analyzer test did you watch that video, right?
No.
No one watched the video in front of you, right?
No.
And I think it was also your testimony yesterday that the polygraph test was supposed to be conducted with another individual right after your voice stress analyzer test, correct?
Correct.
1 second. No more questions, Judge.
Anything? So Mr. Go ahead. Who was going? Is that Tan?
That
You
was
Tan?
me. That was
Okay.
me. Yes, Judge.
Okay. Go ahead. Miss Judge, you may question the witness.
Good morning, Mr. Berkland. My name is Mary Judge. I represent Milton Brown.
Good morning.
I'm going to try to ask you some questions that you haven't just been asked. So bear with me because I don't want to repeat the questions. I'm going to talk to you about that meeting in Kansas City back in 2001.
Yes.
Before we get to the actual voice analysis, I wanted to ask you some questions about how you got involved in this case to begin with.
Okay.
In February of 2020, you were contacted by the Homeland Security Office. The agent here in court sitting at the U.S. Attorney's table, Agent Sifferman, is that right?
Yes.
And that was your first contact was over the phone, correct?
Correct.
And you had subsequent contact with the agent and subsequent conversations before you testified here today, right?
Correct.
The second meeting that you had was actually with the agent and some other agents in Kansas City, where you're from, right?
Yes.
So they met with you in person to go over what happened 20 years ago in Kansas City.
Correct.
Did they ask you if you had or did you present a file from this particular voice analysis that you had done?
They asked me, but I didn't have a file.
So the information you were providing about 20 years ago was from your recollection.
Yes.
When you met with the agents in July, I believe it was July 23rd of 2020, they talked to you about what you remembered, correct?
Correct.
They talked to you about who was in Kansas City at this meeting.
Correct.
You mentioned that you met with an attorney. You don't remember his name.
Correct.
And you met with two individuals that you suspected or you knew to be off-duty Chicago police officers.
Yes.
And you did your best to remember who was present at the meeting, correct?
Yes.
And Agent Sifferman brought photographs with her. Is that correct?
Correct.
I'm sorry, is that right?
Yes,
about
correct.
10 different pictures.
I would say approximately, yes.
And the agents, asked you if you knew any of the individuals' names in any of those pictures. Is that right?
Correct.
And you didn't know anybody by name, right?
No.
They asked if any of the individuals in those 10 photographs look familiar to you, correct?
Correct.
They asked if any of those individuals were in Kansas City back in 2001.
Correct.
And you, even though it was 20 years ago, although you couldn't make a positive identification, you did recollect and you thought maybe a couple of those photos were the off-duty cops that you talked about, right?
I don't remember discussing the off-duty cops.
Okay, you were shown these 10 photographs, right?
Correct.
And you did not identify any of those photographs as my client, Milton Brown, correct?
None of them look familiar.
And that's because you don't know Milton Brown.
I do not.
And Milton Brown was not at that meeting in Kansas City.
To the best of my recollection, no.
Thank you. Yesterday, you testified, you spoke a bit about your payment for services and then money that this attorney had on him. Is that right?
Correct.
And how much money was that?
For my services or the money he had with me? He had with him.
I'm sorry. How much money did you get paid for your services?
I was earlier given a check for $400.
And on that day, when you were meeting with this attorney, that was before you started to do the analysis,
Yes, that was to reserve my time for the day.
and you spoke with this unnamed attorney, and he mentioned to you something about $200,000,
Yes,
and he confided in you at the time that the individual who you were going to perform the voice analysis on was going to get paid $200,000.
correct,
And that's why he had $200,000 with him.
correct.
Did you see the $200,000?
No, I just saw a bag, small gym bag.
Did the individual tell you the $200,000 was in the gym bag?
No,
All right. Now moving to the meeting with the subject, the individual you conducted the voice analysis on. You don't know his name.
thank you very much, Shay. Tanya, can you jump in, please?
Yes, sorry. I was on
Okay,
mute.
okay. No, he would not give it.
And he would not sign any documents.
No,
He was, would you say, uncooperative?
yes,
And you testified yesterday that in order to essentially warm up the subject, you mentioned to him what the attorney had told you, right?
correct,
About if you pass this test, you're going to get $200,000, right?
correct.
And did the subject become less evasive at that point?
Yes, he did.
He began to cooperate with you after you enticed him with this $200,000.
Yes, once I explained that if he didn't pass the test or if I could not give the test, that he would not get the money.
Does that impact the reliability of the exam at all?
No.
Are there standards for this type of exam?
Are there, I'm sorry,
Standards about questioning and mentioning enticements when you're asking someone or conducting this voice analysis. Are there rules that you follow?
no.
Lastly, Mr. Birkland, I'm going to ask you some questions about your time with the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department.
Okay,
Yesterday, you talked about having been a police officer for a number of years.
yes.
And what occurred that led you're leaving the police force? Can you explain that to us again, please?
A person found and recovered a firearm at their house. Checked the serial number. Turned out it was not stolen. No record of it. It was a 5-shot 38 Smith & Wesson Chief. Instead of turning the gun in to the property, I kept it. Later it
I'm sorry?
turned out that it was stolen. I found out.
As a Kansas City police officer, you're not allowed to keep evidence that you collect, right?
No.
So essentially, you stole a firearm.
Yes.
Kansas City Police Department gives you firearms, right?
Yes.
And you had a firearm from the police department when you took that firearm, right?
Yes.
Can you tell the jurors why you would steal a firearm when you are a police officer?
I collect guns. I probably have 90 of them.
When you were interviewed in person in July of 2020, you mentioned to the agents that you believed your recollection of when you left the police department was around 1981. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
And in fact, you actually left in 1973. I mean, I'm sorry,
No.
1978.
Yes, I believe it was 78. It could have been 79. It took a while.
And you left in advance of hearing where you feared you might be fired for stealing the evidence, right?
Yes.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Anything further? If not, you can step down. Call your next witness.
Hold on, Judge. I have two questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I didn't get a chance.
Sorry.
That's all right. Now, no one ever told you who this entertainer was when you conducted this stress test in August of 2001, right?
Yes, the attorney did.
Oh, so the attorney told you at the time?
The attorney at the hotel told me it was R. Kelly.
Okay, well,
Is that it? Oh, excuse me.
hold on.
Sorry.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you remember giving an interview on July 23rd of 2020 to the United States Attorney's Office?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember telling them that the attorney told you that he was working on behalf of a prominent person whose name you would recognize if the attorney told you that?
I don't remember those being my exact words. I had told them that, when he told me it was R. Kelly, I had no idea who R. Kelly was.
So, sir, at the time that you told the U.S. attorney in 2020, I'm sorry, that at the time that you did this alleged stress test, that you only knew that this was a prominent person, but then you later learned that it was R. Kelly? Does that sound right?
I told them when I talked to the attorney on the phone, I did not know the name of the client, of his client. He told me the name of the client at the hotel at the Alameda.
Okay, so he told you later at the hotel, but on the phone he said that it was just a prominent person. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you didn't know who R. Kelly was. Is that correct?
I had no idea.
Not an R&B fan. You're not an R&B fan.
I'm a Frank Sinatra guy. Sorry.
I have nothing.
I believe you can step down. The witness is excused. Call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The government calls John Herlock, who is testifying remotely.
All right. We might need to get the IT in the courtroom. Do you need systems? They're on the way. They're on their way. Be at ease for a moment. There's a brief pause.
Your Honor, can you please swear the witness?
Pardon?
Can you please swear in the witness?
All right, sir, raise your right hand. Yes, I do. Okay, proceed.
Good morning. Can you hear us?
Yes. If you could just turn up a little bit. I don't think he can. It's a little low. Hang on 1 second. We're going to get it turned a little bit, but I think this is all we have. Let me get a little closer to the laptop. Yes, it's all the way up. I can hear you. John Harlock, government's witness, sworn, direct examination.
Okay, Mr. Herlock, you may need to move a little bit closer and speak louder, okay?
Sure. How was that? I'm right up on it.
That's good. Keep your voice up, please. Good morning. Can you please state and spell your last name?
John Herlock, Hurlock.
Mr. Herlock, in what state do you reside?
Missouri.
Are you currently employed?
No, I'm retired.
And what occupation did you retire from?
There's a town adjacent to Kansas City named Lee Summit, and I retired from there as a police officer.
Are you currently doing other types of work at the present moment?
I do some polygraphs for different attorneys, but not very many more.
And how long were you with the Lee Summit Police Department?
30 years.
What years were those?
72 through 2002.
You mentioned you're performing polygraph examinations. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long have you been doing that work?
Since 1981, 40 years, I think.
And during that time, when you doing work as a polygraph examiner, who were your clients?
Well, most police departments, I would do some criminal tests for them, but many pre-employment examinations screening police applicants.
And currently, who do you work for in terms of your polygraph examination work?
Mostly defense attorneys.
Are you trained to be a polygraph examiner?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please explain what training you've received?
I attended a local college that offered a polygraph examiner certificate program here in 1980 through 1982, and since then, many in-service training sessions, national and state polygraph association training sessions all over the country.
Are you certified as a polygrapher?
Yes, from my original school, and then from the school and local polygraph associations.
Can you explain in general terms what is a polygraph examination?
Well, a polygraph examination is designed to assist people to determine or detect deception when a person is asked questions. And normally, it's done nowadays through a computerized polygraph system where apparatus, whatever that word is, are placed on the body and simultaneously record breathing, sweat gland activity, and heart activity.
Can you
I
explain?
think the word is apparatus. Apparatus is the word.
Yes. Can you explain what types of questions that you ask when you're conducting a polygraph examination?
In addition to relevant issue questions, there would be control and comparison questions. There could be outside issue questions. There could be irrelevant questions. Normally, a test consists of 10 to 12 questions, with 2 or 3 being the relevant questions.
And why do you ask those different types of questions? What's the purpose?
Well, the outside issue would be to try to determine if there is some sort of issue that the examinee could be concerned over that might affect the issue we're talking about here. The control questions are compared to the relevant questions in determining truth or deception. And irrelevant questions are normally just the first question, maybe consisting of your name. Or in my case, I usually asked, did I tell you you could stop this examination at any time? And that could be used. In case of an artifact during the exam, you could back up and ask the irrelevant question instead of terminating the test and starting all over. You could use that irrelevant to get the person back on, and we call baseline reactions and then continue the test.
I'd like to direct your attention to August of 2001. Were you hired to administer an examination to determine if a person who had a tape had any other copies of a tape?
Yes.
How did you get hired to do that job?
I received a call from a person named, or who told me his name was Jack Palladino. And I believe, if I remember correctly, he was from California, or at least the number was, and he asked me if I would conduct one.
What was the assignment that you were given from Mr. Palladino?
Well, I was to meet this client. I guess it would be his client in a hotel in downtown Kansas City. Well, actually, not downtown, the plaza area of Kansas City, in a conference room to conduct this exam about what you said it was about.
And when in time, in proximity to the time you had, that was weird. Okay. In proximity to the time you had that call, were you supposed to have conducted this polygraph examination?
You know, I don't really remember how much time it was between the call and when we did the exam. I could guess for you, but it would just be a guess.
When you set up to go conduct a polygraph examination, what, if anything, would you need to know about the subject matter to do your examination?
Well, normally, when I test for the defense, the least that we would ask for would be a statement of probable cause on what the charges are. And then we would try to test only on one specific issue, like you mentioned, that tape. We wouldn't mix any issues, but the more information you have, the better it would be or to help the examiner.
Turning back to this examination that you conducted, or examination you were hired to conduct in August of 2001, where was the hotel located again?
Well, I know it was a hotel named the Alameda Plaza. It's on the south side of the plaza area. If you're, familiar with that, it's a large hotel. Back then, it was probably one of the nicest around the plaza area. It's still there, and I'm not sure what the name of it is.
And what did you do when you arrived at the hotel?
Well, I waited up in the lobby area for whatever was to meet me there, approach me. Whoever.
Did that person introduce themselves?
I don't recall if they did or not. Probably just said that they were there for the polygraph. I can't remember why, but I think there were 3 or 4 individuals that approached me at the beginning.
What did you do after those 3 or 4 individuals approached you? Where did you go?
Well, I followed them into a conference room. I think it was on the lower level of the hotel. I'm not sure. But it was a large conference room that was divided off.
Can you please describe those 3 or 4 individuals that you met with?
3 were black males. I'm not real sure on the white male. I'm not sure if it was Mr. Palladino or even if he was there. I don't recall right now. It's been so long.
When you get into the... Sorry, go ahead.
I do remember being one person was escorted by 2 individuals, 2 black males.
When you got into that conference room or that large room that you were talking about, what happened next?
I set up a system and began an interview with the person that was going to be tested, which wasn't much of an interview because he wouldn't tell me anything hardly.
When you conduct these polygraph examinations, do you in your regular practice have a person fill out forms or fill out any form?
Yes. I asked them to read and sign the waiver consent form.
And what does this form look like?
It's on a single sheet of paper. Probably there's a post-examination area, which when a person signs that, it's just signifying that they don't have any complaints and they were well treated. But at the beginning of it and during the top portion of it, it tells that the specific issue will be about and who the person being tested will give permission to give the results to.
And do you fill out that form at or near the time you're doing the polygraph examination?
It's one of the first things I do, yes.
And back to this examination that we're talking about in August of 2001 that you were hired for. Did you bring one of those forms that you're talking about to this examination?
Yes.
And did you fill it out?
I did.
That form during this meeting with the test subject?
Yes, I did.
I'm showing you, actually, you should have it in a folder there, what's been marked as Government Exhibit 321.
All right. It's sealed. Do you want me to open it?
Yes, you can open it now.
Okay. This form?
Yes, you can actually put that down. Thanks.
Okay.
It's just for their attorneys.
That's the form. They have a copy of it. Okay.
So I'm showing you what's been marked as Government Exhibit 321. Do you have that in front of you, Mr. Herlock?
Yes, I do.
And what is Government Exhibit 321?
It's a polygraph examination permission release form dated 8/23/01.
And is this a form that you were just describing to the jurors that you filled out?
Yes.
At that time?
Yes, it is.
And does it truly and accurately depict the form that you filled out on August 23rd, 2001?
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, the government moves to admit Government Exhibit 321 and publish to the jury.
King Johan, you can read Mr. Glosman. King Johan, you still here, brother?
Y'all mute.
Back. All right.
Okay. You just
No
read Mr.
objection.
No objection.
All right. It's admitted. You may publish it. Government Exhibit 321 received in evidence.
Now, Mr. Herlock, you had mentioned that the test subject would not give you his name. Is that correct?
Yes, he would not.
Can you please describe the test subject?
I don't. I remember only he was a black male.
And so what, if anything, do you refer to him by? Was there any name that you were able to refer to him by?
He gave me a moniker. He told me to just call him Showtime. So that's what I wrote on the form.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part. Did you say you wrote it on the form?
Yes, I did.
And if you could direct your attention to the top of Government Exhibit 321, where it says place and date, what is that? What did you write there?
I think. Let me get my glasses. I think that's a 7. Ward Parkway, Kansas City, Missouri. And that would be what I knew as the Alameda Plaza Hotel.
And the date there, that's August 23rd, 2001. Why would you have written that date there?
That would be the date of the examination.
Okay. In the space under where there's additional writing, what does it say there?
I, Showtime, do hereby voluntarily agree without duress, coercion, threats, promises of reward or immunity to this examination using a polygraph instrument system regarding the performance tape.
And did you write, quote, the performance tape there?
Yes. After they told me that's what to call the tape.
Was the performance tape supposed to be the subject of your the test questions for the examinee?
Yes. At the beginning, I asked what it was about, and they just wanted to go, into what the tape was, and and told me just to refer to it as a performance tape.
Okay. Moving down to the next space where your writing is appears. Do you see that there?
Yes.
What have you written in the next space?
Palladino and Sutherland dash Jack Palladino.
Why would you have written that there?
You write down who the examinee authorizes you to receive information to about the examination, and that's who he agreed to have me release information to.
All right, Mr. Herlock, we're going to direct your attention to the bottom half of the examination permission and release form. If you can look at the next set of lines where there's writing halfway down to the left where it says signature of examinee, and then there's writing above it. Do you see where we are?
Yes, ma'am, I see it.
Okay. Whose writing is above the line where it says signature of examinee?
That's my writing.
Okay. And what have you written there?
Refused to sign.
Why did you write that?
Well, he would not give me his name or sign the form.
And then going over to the right, there's some more handwriting there. Do you see that where it says above signature of polygraph?
That's my writing, an abbreviated JM for my middle initial, Michael J.M. Herlock.
Okay. And what about the writing below that? Is that your writing?
The word witness is, but I'm not sure who signed that other one. I'm assuming it was Jack Palladino, but I don't know.
Okay. And then down towards the bottom of the form, there's some additional writing there above the sign that says signature of examinee. Do you see that there?
Yes.
And whose writing is that?
That's my writing.
And what did you write?
Refused to sign. Dash C reverse.
Why did you write that?
Well, because he wouldn't sign anything about the form. He wasn't cooperating, so I told him I would be concerned about somehow having some legal action against me after this test. So he wrote, I will not sue the company that gives me this test. And that's on the back.
All right. Let's get on the same page with you.
Okay, see, reverse. REVERSE. Reverse.
1 second. Raul, can you switch to Elmo, please? All right. We are now looking at the back page of the form with you, Mr. Herlock. What does it say there on the form?
Refuse to sign. Dash, see reverse. 1825 hours.
Okay. And then when you turned it over, you have been talking about the language that was on the reverse. Can you please turn it over and read that?
I guess yes. Do you want me to read that?
Yes, please.
I will not sue the company and gives me this polygraph test. And then there's some kind of signature there. I don't know what it is.
Okay, and let's turn back over to the front side of the form. Can you please switch to PC2?
Got it?
You said you wrote 1825 on the form. Do you see that there?
Yes.
Why did you write 1825 hours?
Well, that's the time that he refused to sign because that would have been the contact that I had with him. I'm not sure what time it started or what time I met those people, but I probably just neglected to put that there at the top of the time it began.
When you said that
1825, pardon me.
When you said that would have ended my contact with him, did you conduct a polygraph examination of him?
I don't think I did. I can't remember, but in my mind somehow it indicates to me that I probably wouldn't have tested if he refused to sign these.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
There wouldn't be any reason I would go through it if he refused to cooperate with me. It might indicate that he was being forced to do it, but it seems to me like he just got upset with the whole process and he wanted to stop. Mr. Glausman? King Johan?
Yeah, I can't see. Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Overruled. Yes, I'm speculating.
So you recall being able to ask the test subject any questions?
I do not recall that, no.
After you said you concluded your time with the test subject, what did you do?
I assume I just packed up my polygraph system and left.
Do you recall if you were paid for your... I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
You know, the defense is correct. I am speculating on some of this. I don't remember. It's just been so long. I got paid, but I'm not sure how much.
And what is your standard fee that you normally would get paid?
Well, back then, it was probably $300 to $500 when you have to pack up and go somewhere like that.
After this August 2001 meeting, did you ever meet Jack Palladino or the test subject again?
No.
A moment, Your Honor. No further questions for this witness.
Cross-examine, Mr. Glausman.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Herlock.
How are you, sir?
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. I think I'm becoming an employee of Homeland Security. I've been up here so long.
Hopefully you're not defending me.
We had a long day yesterday.
I just want to talk to you briefly about August 23rd, 2001. That was the day that you said this polygraph was done at the Alameda Plaza Hotel, right?
That's the time that and that's the date it was set up to do. Yes.
And you were contacted to do this polygraph by a man named Jack Palladino, correct?
They told whoever was on the phone told me his name was Jack Palladino. Yes, sir.
And you have no reason to doubt that his name is right, correct?
No, I don't have any reason to doubt it.
And at this time that you were hired to do this polygraph examination, you were still active detective with the police department, right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
And when you got to the Plaza Hotel, you said you met three or four individuals, correct?
Yes, sir.
One was the individual who was subject of the test, correct?
Yes, sir.
One individual was Jack Palladino, correct?
I can't remember for sure. I would be speculating again.
What do you remember the government showed you when they interviewed you on July 23rd, 2020? A bunch of different pictures of different people. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you actually identified the picture of Jack Palladino as Palladino. Do you remember that?
I think that I actually said that I was assuming, but because he's the only white guy, that's probably Jack Palladino. Damn.
Okay.
Wow.
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 That's
So a black man
bullshit.
can't have the last name Palladino,
Right. Wow,
bro?
wow. If we got to the days a black man can't be Palladino, that's
Wow.
crazy.
I guess he's saying because there was only one white guy that was there. It was supposedly only one white guy in the whole situation. I'm gonna give him that. So if there's only one guy he had talked to and only one white guy showed up, it had to be him, right?
Guess so.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
let's-
let's
I don't know. They say we all look alike. I mean, I think so.
I know they all look alike, but okay, keep it above. Just playing.
So that will be cue number 9. We're at number 9.
So one of the people that was the white guy you thought was Jack Palladino. One was the subject, and there were two other black males, correct?
Yes.
And it was your belief that they were off-duty Chicago Police Department officers, correct?
Yes.
So this polygraph test consisted of two off-duty Chicago Police Department officers and an active Kansas City detective, right? Correct?
Would you, the active Kansas City detective, be?
I'm sorry. Let's submit detective. I apologize.
That's me.
You were there, right?
Yes, sir.
You were still an active detective at that time, yes?
At that time, yes.
Yes, so okay. And so at the time, you were still an active detective where administering this polygraph test for Jack Palladino, right?
Yes, sir.
And it was just those four individuals there, correct?
Yes, sir.
At no point during the polygraph examination did you guys watch a video, right?
No.
There were no videos exchanged in front of you, right?
No. I didn't see a video.
And it was just Jack Palladino who told you what to test the subject about, correct?
Well, he didn't tell me what the tape was about. He just said it was a tape that
But he
had something to do with the entertainer.
But Jack was the one who told you what to ask the guy about, right?
He would be the one that told me that the issue is they were concerned about. Was there any copies of this tape made by this individual?
I understand. I just want to clarify that it was Jack saying these things to you, correct?
He would have been the only one. Yes.
Okay. And I want to talk to you very briefly about Government Exhibit 21. Do you still have that in front of you?
Yes, sir, I do. Right here.
And that was 321. Now in the middle where it says Palladino Sutherland dash Jack Palladino, that's the only person that you would have been able to give the results of the polygraph test to, correct?
Yes.
And then further down it says witness dash signature.
Yes, sir.
That says Jack first word, right?
You know, I can't tell. I looked at it, but I can't tell if it's Jack. It looks like Jack,
Okay.
but I'm not sure.
1 second. No more questions for Mr. Herlock, Your Honor?
Anything further? Thank you, sir. Anything else? If not,
Yes, Judge.
Tanya, can you read Miss Cohen?
You're on mute, Tanya.
Tanya with the T? Are you asleep already? CJ, can you read Miss Cohen?
Sure. Do you want to go? Oh, sorry. I just didn't know if we were going to go next.
I have very few questions. Oh, that's Miss Judge. I'm sorry. Shit. Who is Miss Judge?
I think that was me. I have a very few questions.
Do you want to go?
Sure.
Miss Judge, you may question.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Mary Judge. I represent Milton Brown.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm sorry. Fine. Thank you. How are you?
Good.
I want to talk to you a bit about the photographs that you were shown that day
Okay.
back in 2001. I'm sorry. The photographs that you were shown regarding the meeting in 2001.
When the two agents came down from Chicago, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I remember.
You met with them. I believe it was July 23rd of 2020 in person.
At the Lee Summit Police Department. Yes, ma'am.
And you could not identify any of those individuals in the photograph by name. Is that correct?
No, none of them were familiar to me.
And you could not identify any of the photographs to be my client, Milton Brown, correct?
No, I couldn't.
Because you don't know Milton Brown, right?
No, I don't.
Do you know when you reviewed these photographs, were you with anyone else? Let me ask.
There were two.
There's a better way I can ask you. Was an individual who did a voice analysis with you when you reviewed those photographs?
No.
Did you see anyone who had conducted a voice analysis of the subject that you tried to conduct the polygraph?
Not that I recall. No.
I think that's all. Give me 1 second, please.
Okay.
You indicated that the main purpose was to determine if any copies were made of this tape that you were going to be discussing with this individual, right?
Yes, that's the way I understood it.
As you sit here today, do you know the name of the subject who you attempted to polygraph?
No, I don't. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
CJ?
Just a few.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Herlock. I represent Mr. Kelly. Good morning. Oh, sorry.
Good morning.
In this matter,
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I won't take up much of your time. When you first spoke to the government agents in connection with this case, you told them you didn't remember much of this incident. Is that right?
Yes.
And you told them you didn't want to be interviewed either, right?
Yes. Being retired and not in very good health either.
And when you first spoke to the government, you told them that you didn't remember whether the subject taking the polygraph was white or African American. Is that correct?
No, I don't think that's correct. I think I remember he was black, African American. Which term should I use? African American?
I wouldn't. I couldn't answer that question for you. Okay, so on July 23rd, 2020, do you recall telling the government agent Sifferman that you described the subject as a cocky guy that could not recall, and you could not recall if he was black or a white male?
No, I could recall that he was black.
Okay, so the government got that wrong?
Well, maybe they just misunderstood me.
And according to you, you were hired by Jack Palladino, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was the only point of contact for you. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were not familiar with who Mr. Kelly was at the time. Is that right?
No, I didn't know anything about Mr. Kelly or his music. Nothing.
Okay. And you never watched the tape, right? You testified to that.
No. I don't know what it's about.
Okay. And at no point prior to conducting the polygraph did you watch the tape or learn what was on the tape, right?
No.
And at the time of the polygraph, I think you mentioned you were an active detective, but you were also a mandated reporter. Is that correct?
Well, I was a road sergeant at the time. When you get old, you you put you on the road and get you to retire. So I had given up my position as detective sergeant, so I was a road officer, but I would have been a mandated reporter. So we're going to take a little 5-minute break right there, y'all. Go use the bathroom, get something to drink, and we're going to come right back and continue. 5-minute break.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and for people who don't know, a mandated reporter means they have to, they held to a higher standard of reporting any type of uh, pornography or any type of
Child
bad stuff
abuse
going on. Yeah,
or
child abuse,
child
anything
abuse.
like that. Yeah, even suspected abuse. They held to a higher standard.
All right, 5-minute break.
Someone to Love by John B. featuring Babyface on Amazon Music. Don't even like to think about it. I don't know what I'd do without it. I only know I live and I'd be for your love. Baby, you came to me in my time of need. When I needed you, you were there for me. Baby, the love from you is what got me through. It's because of you I was able to give my heart again. You gave me someone to love, oh, someone to touch, someone to hold, someone to know. You give me love, someone to touch, someone to hold. Oh, someone to know. I thought I'd never love again. I thought my life was over and I didn't want to face or even see another day. Suddenly, from nowhere, Maybe you or me, you dry my tears, you cared for me. Maybe your love for me rescued me. It's because of you I was able to fall in love again. You gave me someone to love, someone to yeah, someone to hold, oh, someone to know. Oh, you give me someone to trust, oh, baby, to know. So long in my life, I wouldn't let love inside. But I swallow my pride from day to line. Now when you by my side, everything is alright. It's because of you I was able to give my all again, girl. And you gave me someone to love. She gave me someone to love. You gave me someone to love. Someone to love. And you gave me someone to know. She gave me someone to know. You gave me someone to know. Someone to know. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, you are someone, someone to know. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, you are someone, someone to know. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, someone to know. Someone to know. I could hardly believe it when I heard the news today. I had to come and get it straight from you. They said you were leaving, someone swept your heart away. From the look on your face, I see it's true. So tell me all about it, tell me about the plans you're making. Oh, tell me one thing more before I go. Tell me how am I supposed to live without you? Now that I've been loving you so long, how am I supposed to live without you? And how am I supposed to carry on when all that I've been living for is gone?
All right, y'all, we back. We back. Everybody good?
Present.
I'm here.
All right. Good. King Johan, you good? Tanya's probably asleep. Tanya,
Oh,
you
I'm
back?
here. I'm here.
Oh, you're back. You had to wake up to go to the bathroom, Tanya?
I'm here. No, I'm here. I've been here.
Okay. All right, welcome back. All right, y'all. Let's get back to it, y'all. Thank y'all for the pause. Okay. Once again, we put this up here. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. Trigger warning. All right, let's go ahead and get it. So we're starting right here at the top.
Okay. And at no point prior to conducting the polygraph did you watch the tape or learn what was on the tape, right?
No.
And at that time of the polygraph, I think you mentioned you were an active detective, but you were also a mandated reporter. Is that correct?
Somebody, everybody mute their phone if you're not reading, please. I don't know what that was. Well, actually, I was a road sergeant at the time. I read that already. So let's go down here to 12.
Okay. And can you just tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what a mandated reporter is?
Miss Appeting. Tanya, you can read Miss Appeting.
Okay. Hold on. I was on mute. Objection, Your Honor. Relevance?
Oh, overruled. Answer the question. Well, I would be mandated to report child abuse, child neglect, and those kinds of offenses.
Would you be mandated to report child pornography?
Probably the making of it, yes.
Probably. Okay. And you have no reason to believe that there was anything on the tape that you were required to report when you took the polygraph?
No.
Is that correct?
No.
And my final question. It's not unusual for defense attorneys to use polygraph examinations. Is that correct, sir?
No. They use it quite a bit.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. That's call your next witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The government calls Charles Freeman.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you. Witness is excused. So, King Johan, I'm gonna have you be Charles Freeman. You already know what to do.
Yeah, that.
All right. So, you're gonna get sworn in. So, witness is sworn.
I do.
Please be seated. You may remove your mask while you're testifying, sir. Thank you.
All right, sit in this chair.
Yes, right there. Miss Appeting, you may question.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Charles Freeman, government's witness, sworn, direct testimony.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Over here. Can you please state and spell your first and last name for the jury?
Charles Freeman, CHARLESFREEMAN.
If you could move closer to the mic.
Okay.
Thank you. In what city and state do you live?
Kansas City, Missouri.
And how long have you lived in Kansas City?
Mostly all my life.
And how old are you, sir?
I'm 52 years old.
Are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you employed?
I own a business with a friend of mine, a couple of liquor stores. I own my own company, C. Freeman Homes, which has houses, and I also have a music company.
What are some other jobs that you have held?
Merchandiser for different acts, record labels, So Def, Airstar.
Can you explain what's merchandising?
Merchandiser for several acts such as Robert Kelly, Julia Bird, Chris Brown, a group that's called Event.
Okay, and my question was, what is merchandising?
I mean, merchandising is.
Can you back up just a little bit? Thank you.
I mean, can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Merchandising is T-shirts. You know, lighting roses, picture books, hats. You know, all type of paraphernalia that artists had to sell while they, performing on tour.
So, directing your attention to 1991,
Yes.
what were you doing for work then?
I mean, me and my friend Robert Hyde, we had a company called 25, where we take pictures at nightclubs. And my cousin ended up owning a promoting company to do concerts. So we use subcontract with them and do acts if they go on tour and perform.
As part of that work, did you come into contact with a person named Robert Kelly?
Yeah, I did.
And how was it that you had occasion to come in contact with Mr. Kelly?
I mean, the company I work for, Twin A, Ragtime, did a tour called the Private Line Tour with Gerald Levert and Robert Kelly. And Public Announcement was the act that was on tour. I mean, ended up with Rob one day in basketball court because he liked to play basketball before the tour. So I played with Gerald Levert's team, and he had his own team, and we played basketball.
What did you, as part of that tour, what was your function, purpose of being there?
Merchandising.
How many cities did that tour go to?
I can't recall, but it's been so long, about 20, 25 cities.
And were you on the tour from beginning to end?
Yeah, I was.
Other than playing basketball with Mr. Kelly during this tour, did you have any other interactions with him during that tour?
I mean, yeah, I did. We really became cool and friends one time on tour because I had a jacket on that a lady named Barbara Bates from Chicago had made, and it was the same jacket that Robert Kelly had made. So I guess for a video. So one of his brothers seen me with the jacket on and accused me of stealing Robert's jacket. And Robert came and me and on the tour bus and he asked me, did I steal this jacket? I said no. I had Barbara Bates make me this jacket. I paid 3,500 for this jacket. And from that day on, he looked at I guess he looked at the same size. He's a little bigger than me. He realized that wasn't his jacket.
Okay.
So we had a friendship from that day on.
Directing your attention to 1993 and 1994,
Yes.
did you have a professional relationship with Mr. Kelly?
Yes, I did.
What was that professional relationship?
After Robert left Public Announcement, he became solo. And he was just Robert Kelly, R. Kelly. And since we had a relationship, I called him down to Chicago to talk to Barry Hankerson, which was his manager at the time. And he asked, could we do his merchandise? He said, come on down and holler at me because it wasn't up to him. It was more up to Robert. And so I came down from Chicago. I mean, I came down from Kansas City here to Chicago. And I met with Robert Kelly in Chicago Track Studio, and it was downtown somewhere.
Okay, and so we are talking about 1993 and 1994.
Uh-huh.
Did you do another tour where you had occasion to work with Mr. Kelly professionally?
I mean, yes, it was the 12 play tour.
And did you go out on that tour?
Yes, I did.
And that tour ended in 1996. We are moving forward in time.
Okay.
Did you have any other occasions to speak to Mr. Kelly professionally?
Yes, I did in 1996. I mean, Robert Kelly, I think going back, it was the Mr. Biggs tour. I had asked Mr. Kelly to go if I can get on it. He said no. But then months later, while I was doing another tour, he had signed a group called Talent, which was from Kansas City, which are friends of mine that I went to church with.
What are the members of Talent?
Marlon Hatcher, Ernest Dixon, Earl Dixon, and Keith Merle.
How did you know the members of this group?
I had kind of put the group together and was acting as a friend slash manager, and we all went to church together. So,
And how was this group related in any way to Mr. Kelly?
I mean, R. Kelly had signed them to his label. He had a label called Rockland, and he had a label called Rockland, and he signed them to his record label.
And how was it that you had interactions with Mr. Kelly as it relates to this group talent?
The group would call me. They would be mad about not getting fed or not having money or just different things, thinking things and going slow. So I used to come down just to talk with Rob because I had a relationship with Rob. And he would tell me everything is good, it's fine. So we just used to chop it up.
Do you know an individual named Daryl McDavid?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
How do you know him?
I know Darren McDavid from being Rob's business manager. When I first met him, he gave me a business card.
And when was that when you first met Mr. McDavid?
That was in 2000. In 2000?
Do you know an individual named Mr. Milton Brown?
Yeah, I do.
How do you
I call Milton Brown June. I know him by June, but yeah, I do know Milton Brown.
how do you know Mr. Brown?
He works with Robert Kelly.
What observations that you have made of Mr. Brown that led you to that to that conclusion?
Mr. Brown was like being in the music business. You have people close to you like an assistant. Like when you ask them to do something, they do it. If you ask them to go somewhere, they go. If you ask them to hold the fort down as far as getting people or going to get people, that's the job he had. Holding the towel, being the side on the stage, watching the show, things like that.
And when did you meet Mr. Brown?
Objection. Foundation.
Well, when and where? I mean, he asked when. You start out and when and then there, I suppose. Go ahead.
When and where did you meet Mr. Brown?
I met June Brown on tour.
Which tour?
I can't remember which tour. It was either the 12 play tour or the Mr. Biggs tour
And what time frame were those tours?
in the 90s.
Objection. Can we get a little foundation, a little bit more foundation than in the 90s? That's a whole entire decade.
That's you, Johan.
Between 93 and 96.
Okay. Before we go further in your testimony, let's discuss any agreements that you have with the government about your testimony.
Okay.
You are testifying today pursuant to a grant of immunity. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
What does that mean to you?
It means that I get up here and tell the truth, what I live, what I've seen, that I would not be discouraged anyone or lie about what I'm saying. Just tell the actual facts.
And if you are not truthful, what is your understanding of what could happen to you?
I could be prosecuted.
Okay. So I'd like to direct your attention to the year of 2001.
Okay.
In approximately 2001, can you tell us when if you had occasion to receive a call from Mr. Kelly?
Oh, in 2001, I received a call from Mr. Kelly that said Daryl and another.
Objection. Foundation as to win in 2001.
I joined.
We'll rephrase the question.
Okay.
Mr. Freeman, the question was, when in 2001 did you have occasion to receive a call from Mr. Kelly? When first?
Around the beginning of the year, around January, February, if I can recall.
Okay. And what was the nature of that call?
Well, the call was for me to recover some stolen tapes that he had lost.
Who were you talking to on the call?
The first call I got was from Robert Kelly.
We are just talking about this first call. Who were you talking to on the call?
Robert Kelly.
Who else was on the call?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Also assumes facts, not in evidence.
What?
We are just trying to find out who was on the call, sir.
the question. She asked who was on the call, and that's assuming a fact, not in evidence, because he's
Well, yeah. How are you gonna find out unless you ask? Overruled. He can answer if anybody.
The
Who, if anyone else, was on the call?
No one on the call when I talked to Robert Kelly.
Okay. What did you talk to Mr. Kelly about?
He said that he wanted me to recover some tapes, and Derek McDavid and an investigator would give me a call.
After that call with Mr. Kelly, did Daryl McDavid and an investigator give you a call?
Yes, they did.
About how long between the time you talked to Mr. Kelly did the call for Mr. McDavid and the investigator come?
About a couple of days.
And who was speaking during that telephone call?
Derek McDavid said Derek McDavid and a guy named Jack Palladino.
During that telephone call, what did Mr. McDavid say?
Well, Derek McDavid said that they wanted me to recover some tapes and they have some information that's been stolen, and will I be willing to recover them?
During the call, what did Jack Palladino say?
Well, Jack Palladino said that he would offer me a reward to recover the tapes that were stolen from Mr. Kelly.
Did you know at the time during that conversation who Jack Palladino was?
No, I didn't.
What, if anything, did Daryl McDavid say about what was on the tapes?
Well, Daryl said on it was a performance tape that they really needed to cover, and if I was willing to recover the tape, they would take care of me. Them was his exact words.
Well, what, if anything, did Mr. Palladino say about the tape?
Well, Mr. Palladino on the phone call said that they would be coming to Kansas City to meet with me so we can discuss further arrangements for me to recover the tape.
Did either Jack Palladino or Daryl McDavid describe what was on the tape?
Not at, I mean, yes, yeah, they did later on, but not.
During this phone call?
Nah, they did not.
Now, you said that your testimony was that they, Jack Palladino, said that he was going to meet with you.
Yeah,
Did that meeting happen?
yeah, it did.
About how long between the conversation did that meeting occur?
It was about a week, within a week.
Where did that meeting occur?
It was at a hotel in Kansas City.
Who was at that meeting?
Derek McDavid and Jack Palladino.
Do you recall the name of the hotel?
No, but I remember the hotel being near the plaza in Kansas City.
What time of the day was the meeting?
During the evening time, around 6, 7, 8.
How did you know to meet at the hotel? At that
Well, I mean, once they got in town, they said they'd give me a call and the location. And they got in town and gave me the location of where they would go meet at, and they gave me the room number.
Who, if anyone, did you go to the hotel with?
I went to the hotel with Hakeem Afrat and Reese Smith
Why did you have people go to the hotel with you?
for protection.
Why did you need protection?
Just because a phone call had happened between that time with June and I mean, with Daryl and Jack Palladino had gave me a call and asked me what would it cost, what would I charge them to cover the tapes.
Miss Appeting, were you going to take a recess?
Yes, sir.
Well, we'll go ahead and take 15-minute recess. Recess from 11:18 a.m. to 11:31 a.m. Please be seated. Miss Appeting, you can continue your examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Mr. Freeman, before the break,
Yes.
you were talking about a conversation, a telephone call that occurred prior to your meeting in Kansas City with Daryl McDavid and Jack Palladino.
Yeah.
And your testimony right before we cut was, and you can correct me if I am wrong, is what I was going to charge to recover the tapes. That's the last I heard.
Yeah, I had a phone call before they came to Kansas City, and Jack Palladino and Dare, they was on the phone, and they asked me what I charged to cover the stolen tapes, and I just threw a number, and I said $1 million.
Who was on that phone call?
Daryl McDavid and Jack Palladino.
And who said, which of the two said how much would they charge you to do this?
Daryl McDavid.
Okay. And so we were talking about the meeting in Kansas City.
Yes.
Now, when you had mentioned that telephone conversations, because my question to you was why did you bring that, what you termed as protection, to the hotel?
All right, let me go ahead and take a switch. Thank you, Tanya.
No problem.
Shay, can you come in and read, please, for the government?
Sure.
Tanya, if you could be, you could stay Miss, you could stay Bonjean, Riri. Tanya, if you could be,
If somebody else objects.
yes.
Got it.
All right.
Well, during that last second conversation that I had with Daryl and Jack Palladino, I looked to see who Jack Palladino was and did a background check, just looking on the internet. So I didn't trust anything just from his background of dealings that he had in the past.
So when you got to the hotel, what type of room were you in?
We were we were like in a little mini suite, a little mini suite.
Who was in the room when you entered the room?
Jack Palladino, Daryl McDavid, me, Hakeem, and Reese.
And who are Hakeem and Reese?
They were friends of mine.
Can you describe the size of the room in comparison to what you see here in the courtroom today?
I mean, okay, like a regular room has a bed, a couch, and maybe a little sofa. This room was extended, and it had a bed, a larger room than a regular room in a hotel, like a mint bar, a little mini sink or whatever. And then it had a bedroom.
If you can recall, when you entered the room, where were Jack Palladino and Daryl McVeigh?
Well, Jack Palladino was sitting on a little table with some chairs, and Dale was sitting on the couch.
And was the couch and the table and chairs in the same room?
Yes, it was.
How did the conversation begin?
I said, "Well, fellas, we here. How are we gonna get this done?" And Jack Palladino instantly said, "Well, first of all, we're not paying you $1 million." And Derek came off and like, "We just need you to recover these tapes, and we're gonna make sure you're taken care of." So we got to arguing about the money, and that's when
Okay,
Daryl.
so you said you got to arguing about the money.
Yeah.
What was your response to them? Excuse me, not them. Jack Palladino saying we're not going to pay you $1 million.
Well, I said, "Well, I'm not going to recover your tapes."
Did the meeting conclude after that?
We got into a little shouting match. They threatened me, I threatened them. We left.
So when you say we left, who left?
Me, Hakeem, and Reese.
How did you said there was a shouting match?
Yeah. We had a shouting match back and forth because they were trying to act.
Who?
It was a shouting match between me, Dale McDavid, and Jack Palladino.
After you left the meeting, what happened a few days later?
And I got on a phone call from Jack Palladino. He apologized, said, "This got off the wrong start. Let's try and get this done, because my client needs his tapes recovered." So we just talked with a little calm conversation. And he was like, "Well, we have some information about some people in Atlanta. Do you know some people in Atlanta prior to the tour that I was on?" I said, "Sure," and we exchanged names, and
Okay.
I mean, that was the end of the conversation.
Okay, so what happened after you had the telephone conversation? Were there any follow-up meetings?
I mean, yeah, it was. It was another phone call, and Jack Palladino said we go offer you some money to recover these tapes, and that you need to sit by the phone until we come down to make this happen. And I said, well, nah, I'm gonna do a contract because I don't trust y'all.
Okay, so at this time, you were having this conversation. You said something about somebody coming down there. Where were you when you were having this conversation?
I mean, I was at my house. We were on the phone.
Okay, and your house is in what city?
My house at that time, it was in Grandview, Missouri.
Is that
Kansas City, Missouri, but South Kansas, Kansas City.
okay? So then, after the conversation in the hotel, where things got heated, did you meet with two individuals again, Daryl McDavid and Jack Palladino?
Yeah, I did.
Where?
At the hotel.
And how about what was the time frame between the meeting that we were just talking about and this second meeting that you were on that you are about to discuss?
I mean, probably about I'm gonna say 3 4 days.
All right. Shay, let me switch you out with CJ, please.
Okay.
Where was the meeting?
On the plaza again.
Who, if anyone, went with you to this meeting?
Reese and Hakeem,
Who was at this meeting?
Jack Palladino, and Daryl McDavid.
Okay. And where was the meeting? What type of room?
It was just in a regular room, hotel room. I mean, we met, and that's when I gave them the contract that I wanted them to sign.
Okay. Let's back up a little bit. Who? What size room are we talking about this time?
We talking about just a regular hotel room.
Okay. And who was in the room when you arrived?
Jack Palladino and Daryl McDavid.
And where were they in the room, if you can
They
recall?
was sitting on the couch,
If you can recall when you got inside the room.
sitting on the couch on the love seat.
Okay. What was the conversation about the tapes that were to be recovered?
The conversation was, I will recover the tape. I get them the contract saying that they would pay me $1 million, and I wanted them to sign it. And Jack Palladino immediately said, "We're not going to sign that contract. We'll send you a contract of how we're going to pay you, and that's the way it's going to be done."
During this meeting, did you get a description from either Jack Palladino or Daryl McDavid about where you were supposed to recover this tape from?
Yes, I did.
Who told you where you were supposed to recover this tape?
Jack Palladino.
What did he say?
He said we received the tapes. We received the tapes were in Atlanta, Georgia, and that probably be the spot that you would be going to get the tapes.
And we'll come back to that, or actually now, about who. Um, what did Mr. Palladino say about the person who had the tape?
He said the tapes were given to a young man and lady in Atlanta, Georgia, and we were getting more information and the address, and we'll call you back. And this is where we need to go get the tapes.
During that conversation, did he tell you who gave the tapes to the young man or woman that
Nah,
was in Georgia?
nah, he didn't. He did not.
Did you receive any information about how the tapes got to Georgia?
Yeah, I did.
From whom?
From Jack Palladino and Daryl. I mean, on the next phone call, when they sent me a contract that I was supposed to sign, and we had a discussion about the money we were supposed to pay me.
Objection, Judge.
My question was,
Objection. Can we get a foundation as to the timing between this hotel meeting and this phone call he's talking about, please?
yes, sir. And I was redirecting. My question was, who did you, who was the person that you understood from the conversation who gave the tape to the person in Georgia? That was my question.
Say that one more time.
Who, during your conversations, you said you learned who gave the tape to the person in Georgia?
Right.
And I said, who was that person? Who gave the person, who gave the tape to the person in Georgia?
The person was that gave me the tape in Georgia was Lisa.
Who is Lisa?
You know, Lisa Van Allen. You know, an ex-girlfriend of Robert Kelly. You know, to my understanding.
Objection, Judge. Can we get foundation as to where he garnered that information?
And when?
Stop. Let the judge rule on the objection and then we'll go forward.
Well, they need more information. They want additional information, so just supply it and there won't be an objection.
Who did you get that information from and when?
I mean, I got the information from the phone call of me signing the new contract from Daryl McDavid and Jack Palladino. You know, that Lisa Van Allen had, yeah, she had some tapes and had gave it to me, the individual where they wanted me to go.
Okay.
Objection. There was no when in there.
Yes, and when was that in comparison to this hotel meeting they talking about? All right. You can supply that again, but I think it's in there somewhere. Go ahead and ask again.
When did you get this information from Mr. Palladino?
From the phone call after the hotel meeting.
Okay. Do you know Lisa Van Allen?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Lisa Van Allen?
You know, back in the 96, 97, 98, I used to go to Chicago and she used to, one of them girls in the hotel room that was up there with the group, with the talent.
Okay, so turning to this contract that you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, you first said that you presented
a contract to Jack Palladino and Daryl McDavid.
And where did that take place?
Inside the hotel.
Which hotel?
I can't remember the name or because the plaza has changed, but the hotel was on the plaza where we met.
Okay, and in this hotel meeting, in the suite or in the regular room?
In a regular room.
Okay, and again, who was in that room?
Daryl McDavid and Jack Palladino.
Okay, and if you could just step back a little from the mic because we cannot hear you.
Okay, Daryl McDavid and Jack Palladino.
Who else was in the room?
Reese and Hakeem, friends of mine.
And you presented Jack Palladino and Daryl McDavid with a contract?
Yes, I did.
Did they accept that contract?
No.
What happened?
They said they'd send me a contract, because I refused to move forward without anything in written.
Did that end the meeting?
Yes, that ended the meeting.
What happened next with respect to you getting something in writing?
I mean, well, a few days later, they gave me a call and they said they were coming down to bring me a contract that I would sign to recover the tapes. And
okay, can you stop and be more specific? You said, quote, they called me. Who called you?
Okay, Daryl and Jack called me and said,
where?
They were coming down.
Stop. Were they on the phone together?
Yes.
Okay. What was the conversation? You need to say who said what.
Okay.
What?
Okay. Daryl McDavid said that we were coming down to meet. They were coming down to meet me. and they'll give me the information. Jack Palladino said we have a contract for you to sign that I will be bringing down, so you will get paid your money. My response to them was, does the contract say $1 million? They said, wait until we get there.
And where is there?
The hotel to Kansas City. My fault, to Kansas City.
So did this happen in the same day that you presented them with a contract?
Nah, it did not.
So then did you have a meeting with Jack Palladino and Daryl McDavid after this phone call that you just described?
Yeah, I did.
And where was this meeting?
At the same hotel, different room.
And who was in that meeting?
Dale McDavid, Jack Palladino, Hakeem Affarat, and Reese Smith.
And those last two individuals, those are people that came with you. Is that right?
Yep.
When you got to the hotel room, what, if anything, were you presented in terms of a contract?
Well, I was presented with a contract that was handed to me by Jack Palladino that said I get 100 grand to recover the tape and 40,000 for expenses. I immediately told Dale McDavid, that's not $1 million, and on that we did not agree. His response, keep going.
No, please. You can stop.
Okay.
What did you sign that contract?
Nah, not right then.
Did you eventually sign that contract?
Yeah, I did.
You were talking about the terms of the contract, that they didn't include $1 million. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Why did you sign the contract if it wasn't for $1 million?
I mean, well, prior to me signing the contract, Darren McDavid said we were going to pay you the million. But but how do we know that you recovered is what we were wanting, because we need originals and make sure that this is the actual evidence, tapes that was the recovered. So what we were going to do is we were going to pay you the money, plus we'll look bad if we give you $1 million for a tape. It's not going, that's not what we want.
Okay. And so you said you did sign this contract?
Yeah, I did.
Objection. Foundation as to when.
Yes, when? Yes, agreed.
You said you signed the contract in that room. Is that right?
Yeah, I did. After, having a sidebar meeting, after me and Daryl, we was talking about how we was gonna get paid, the $1 million. I eventually signed the contract in the room.
And who was in the room when you signed the contract?
Jack Palladino and Daryl McDavid.
And
Judge, can we get some foundation as to the space of the time in between the last meeting and this meeting? It's all over the map here. I need to know when, after the last meeting, this meeting happened.
Your Honor, he already testified about that. He said when he got the phone call, he said it wasn't at the same time he was presented initially with a contract. And then he said a few days later, he had this other meeting.
So it's a few days later, is what you're saying. Okay, I'll accept that. All right.
Okay. So you said that you signed the contract in the room with Daryl McDavid and Jack Palladino. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we go to the witness, please? It's on PC2. I'm showing you what's been previously marked as Government Exhibit 320. Do you see that there?
Yep.
And do you recognize do you recognize your own signature
Yep.
on this document?
Yes, I do.
What is Government Exhibit 320?
It's the contract that I signed from Jack Palladino.
Okay. So what is the date that you signed the contract?
August 21st, 2001.
What's the date that appears on the contract?
8/21/00.
Is that the date that you signed the contract?
Nah, I didn't.
What is the date that you signed the contract?
8/21/2001.
And why did you Why does it have the year 2000 instead of 2021?
Just acting like just a mistake. It was just a mistake.
Is there another date that appears on the contract?
Yeah,
What's the other date?
August 21st, 2001.
Okay. There's another signature. I'm not asking you if you know whose signature that is. Please tell us how you know. If you don't know that signature, tell us, well, tell us
I
that,
mean,
well. Tell us that as
well,
well. Excuse me.
I assumed it was Jack Palladino's signature, but I don't know his signature.
Did anyone else sign the contract while you were in the room?
No.
Is did you go ahead and take a look and read just briefly peruse the terms of the contract?
Okay.
Do you see that there? Can you see it? Is it big enough?
Yeah. Do you want me to read it out loud?
No.
Okay.
Just take a look at those enough to tell us, does that truly and accurately depict the contract that you signed in the room on August of 2001?
Yep.
Your Honor, the government moves to admit Government Exhibit 320 and publish to the jury.
Any objection? No, no objection. It's admitted. You may publish it. Government Exhibit 320 received in evidence.
Okay, Mr. Freeman, we're going to take this step by step. First, let's take a look at the bottom that we were just talking about in terms of the signatures. Is that your signature that appears at the bottom on the screen
Yep.
there?
Yep.
And that's the date that you had testified that should be 8/21/2001, correct?
Yeah.
All right. What's the title of the document?
Agreement for reward and expenses.
And based on can you just go ahead and read this first paragraph of the agreement?
This will memorialize the reward and expenses agreement between Mr. Charles Chuck Freeman and Mr. Jack Palladino on behalf of his client.
Okay. And in the second paragraph here, it says, for the recovery and return of certain original stolen items, one original performance tape, and what has been represented as the sole copy. Did you understand that to be the terms of the agreement?
Yep.
Did you discuss a performance tape before you signed this agreement?
Yes, I did.
What is the performance tape?
We discussed an original tape, that was stolen from Mr. Kelly by Lisa Van Allen.
What was described to you as what was on the tape?
Nothing was described at the time, what was on the tape.
And then the second part of that sentence, it says, to the copyright holder, my client has agreed to pay a reward of $100,000 as well as to reimburse verifiable expenses. Do you see that there?
Yeah.
And that was your understanding of the agreement, of what the agreement was, right?
Yeah.
The second middle part of the agreement says some things about what other conditions were. Can you read where it says among the necessary conditions?
Among the necessary conditions for the payment of any reward or expenses are the turning over of all said materials to Jack Palladino on Thursday, August 23rd, 2001, the passing by Mr. Freeman on that date to Mr. Palladino's sole certification of a polygraph and or PSE examination concerning the truthfulness of Mr. Freeman's representation to that of the best of his knowledge. The stolen item he has recovered will be turning over to all materials that exist and that he knows of no other copies. There's a line running through it. Whether in whole or in part, in any form.
Was that your understanding of what your responsibilities would be pursuant to this contract?
Yep.
Okay, and finally, the last paragraph here. What does it say there in terms of your final agreement?
As in further necessary condition, Mr. Freeman agrees to held confidential and not reveal to any third party the contents or subject matter of this agreement. Agreed to full and without reservation by.
Okay, so now you have a contract to recover performance tape.
Uh-huh.
Is that correct? And what did you do next in your efforts to recover the tape?
I mean, we went to Atlanta, Georgia, on the address that Jack Palladino gave us to recover the stolen tape.
About how much time had passed between you signing this contract in August 2001 until when you went to Georgia to attempt to recover this tape?
I mean, like a couple of days, within the same week.
And what city and state did you travel to?
Atlanta, Georgia.
How did you get there?
We drove.
Who, if anyone, went with you?
I mean, Hakeem Alfred and Reese Smith.
Why did you have people go with you?
I mean, I just didn't trust the situation that we were in with Jack Palladino and Darren McDade.
When you say you didn't trust, why did you have those feelings?
I mean, because every arrangement from the agreement, we agreed on $1 million. It was always, we're going to pay you this way. We're going to pay you that way. It was always argument and, like it wasn't, they wasn't keeping their word, just like I didn't trust them at first.
So when you got to the address, was it in Atlanta proper?
No, I mean, it was outside Atlanta, in the city called, I think either Dallas, Georgia, somewhere. I mean, it's still in Atlanta, it's like a city inside a city, where the address was.
Had you ever been to that address before?
Nah, I haven't.
And what was at the address? What type of building?
I mean, it was a house.
What happened when you got to the house, outside the house? What happened?
I mean, we drove by, looked at the house, drove back, looked at the house again. I mean, then we parked. We got out the car. Reese and Hakeem, they stood, like in the middle of the driveway. And, we knocked on the door. And I wouldn't have knocked on the door.
Okay. And so you mentioned earlier, or you testified earlier, that you got this address from Jack Palladino.
Yeah.
Who were you supposed to be meeting with at that house?
I mean, no one was there. I mean, it was kind of, like me, going to recover the tapes. It was kind of like, me muscling, going to get the tape. Supposed to be a gentleman there, that Lisa gave the tape to, who was I supposed to get the tape, but.
Okay.
I mean, I figured they just wasn't going to give me the tape.
So what happened when you approached the door?
I mean, I approached the door, with a 2-knock. And, all of a sudden, a girl came to the door, opened the door. I said, I'm here for the motherfucking tapes.
And when you say girl, can you please?
A woman, a young lady, came to the door, and I said, I'm here to recover the motherfucking tape y'all stole from Robert Kelly. Them were my exact words.
You said MF? Are you talking about cuss words?
Yes, cuss words.
Okay. So what was this person's response to you?
She raised her hands up, pointed at the TV, like which was sitting on the stand, with the VCR, and walked out with her hands up.
All right. Can you describe the house first? What did it look like?
I mean, it was a single family, 2-story house.
Okay. And when you said that this person pointed in a direction.
Yeah.
And where were you at this point? Were you outside of the house? Were you inside of the house?
I was right at the front door.
Okay. And where did this person point to?
I mean, to the living room, to the right, where the TV, was at, a couch. And it was like a swing for a baby. I ain't think they had a kid. I went there. I wasn't, wasn't no swing there.
Okay. Who walked up to the front door with you?
No one.
And where were the friends that you had traveled with?
Standing right there in the driveway.
So what happened after the woman pointed in the direction of what you said was the living room?
I mean, I went straight to the TV. It was two tapes sitting on top of the stand and one tape leaning outside the video. I mean, leaning outside out the VCR.
You said leaning outside the VCR?
Yeah, like it been ejected, but it was still in the VCR.
Oh, okay. So what did you do next when you approached this TV and VCR?
I mean, I pushed the tape in. I pushed the tape in and seen it. It was the tape of, I guess, what they were looking for.
Why do you say that?
The tape came on, and it was Robert Kelly and a girl.
What did you observe on the? Sorry, I'm assuming that the VCR was attached to a TV. Was it attached to a TV?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you pushed it in, what did you observe on the television?
Robert Kelly, and getting up and going in just a camera or something. And I don't know, just pushed it in and seen them, injected, pulled it out and grabbed the two tapes, and we were on the thing of the TV was on and stand.
Okay.
I mean, I would say the stand.
So that's all you saw, and you took the tape out of the machine?
Yeah.
How many tapes did you leave that house with?
3.
Okay. So what did you do immediately after you left the house?
I mean, we got in the car, drove back to the hotel, that we had gotten dropped, out and dropped Reese and them off.
Okay. After you dropped off your friends, what did you do next?
Went to Walmart on Cumberland Drive in Marietta because we stayed in Marietta, Georgia. And, we bought a VCR recorder.
I'm sorry. What did you do at Walmart?
Went and bought a VCR recorder and Blake tapes.
What does a VCR recorder look like?
It's a machine where you can put a VCR in and a blank tape in and you can record.
Objection to foundation. Can we get a win? I don't know win at this point.
Who said
No.
we?
No.
Who is we?
Did you say we?
No.
Yes, he did. He said we twice.
I said I dropped Reese, not we. Reese. His name is Maurice, but I'm so used to calling him Reese. I said I dropped Maurice and Hakeem off at the hotel, and I went to Walmart to buy a VCR recorder and a package of bank tapes.
Okay. And so I asked you. You said that you bought a recorder, and you were explaining. What a
recorder is. You put a VCR tape in and you put a blank tape in, and it records what's on a VCR on the tape.
Okay. And so where did you go with this equipment after you bought this equipment at Walmart?
I went to my friend's house, Rob Howard.
Okay. And what did you do when you got to the house?
I plugged up the video recorder, stuck all 3 tapes in to make sure I had what I had.
Can you back up a little bit? Because when you're too close. We can't actually hear. Okay, thanks.
All right, CJ, before you come on, by the way, Johan, you killing this shit, bro. Damn, boy.
You're really good.
Yeah,
Yeah, and shout out to your 2 sides.
I am over here on mute, rolling.
Me too. I'm trying not to bust out laughing. Real
Hey,
quick,
look, I'm trying hard as hell not to neither, man.
bro, you doing your
This
You
dude
you
stupid
doing
as
it.
shit. He's
I
stupid,
love
bro.
it. I
He's
love it. I
wilding out
love
for
it. I
real.
love it.
There was a
uh,
point when you were talking, I was just like, this motherfucker gotta have like a slim hanging out the side of his mouth, just like with two
Oh
ribs.
yeah, I do. Hey, real shit though. I'm smoking as listen, I got you look.
I can
As I'm
feel it.
talking, I'm rocking. You feel me?
Wow, you good. You can smoke and read at the same time.
Hey, hey, listen, I'm telling you right now, that's the Hood Olympics right there.
Oh my goodness. OMG.
all right, y'all. So what we gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna bring you. Huh?
Hey, precious.
Hey, girl.
All right.
All right, baby. She
No-
say, all right,
yeah,
thank you.
Noodle
She said
want to say hi.
objection. Foundation.
Yeah. All right. All right. Yeah. Okay, baby. Thank you, baby. All right. So, all right. So, I'm gonna have you tan you up. Tan you up. I'll tan you sleep. Okay. So I'm gonna bring you in, Shay. And
She changed her name on the thing. I didn't even see it. Tanya
what
with the
Sleepy
sleepy feet.
T? Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm gonna give CJ. You doing great, by the way. All
Okay,
y'all
cool.
doing great tonight, man. Round of applause to everybody. Let's
Yeah.
keep going. Let's do. I'm gonna bring you back in, Shay, as the Miss Apatine.
All right,
You
where
say
we
you
leave off at?
huh?
24.
24. Oh, so it's on me. All right, cool.
All right. All
All
good.
right, all right. I mean, I went to my friend Rob's house, and I looked at all three tapes. One of the tapes was a tape, a Disney tape, that didn't have anything, I guess they recovered. The other tapes was like, family tape or, someone who I didn't even know, and, I had the tape, I guess, that they wanted me to recover.
O- Okay, so why do you think this was the tape that? And when you say they, who were you talking about?
Daryl, Jack, and Robert Kelly.
Okay, why do you think this was the tape that Daryl and Jack and Robert Kelly wanted you to recover?
And then because I sit and watch the tape.
Who, if anyone, was in the room when you watched this tape?
I mean, nobody, no one. Robert Howard and and his son and his wife was gone, down to some park or something that day.
Okay, and when you watched the tape, where did you watch it? Like on a TV, on a
I mean, yes, the TV, on the TV. What I did was plug, set up the video recorder and plug, I put the tape in and I watched the tape.
Okay, and what did you observe on the tape?
Well, I observed Robert Kelly with a young lady having sex. Urinating on her and putting lotion all on her face.
When you say young lady, what age did the female appear to be?
I mean, young.
What now? You said that you saw they were engaged in what type of activity?
Sexual activities.
Can you describe what you observed on the tape, just generally speaking, from beginning to end? Like what were you observing?
I mean, well, okay. I observed Robert Kelly laying on the floor with a young girl, oral sex.
I'll
I s-
stop you right there. You said laying on the floor. Can you describe the room?
the room had like a checker red flow, like white and black, with a TV with him, intercourse with another lady. And I don't know what it was something I couldn't see, that was showing a view of him doing these acts.
Okay. And what else? Can you keep going because I stopped you?
I mean, okay, you know what I mean? What I observed was Robert Kelly laying on the floor having oral sex and committing sexual acts with a young lady. During that time, Mr. Kelly had urinated on the girl. And that tape went on, and as during them having sex, it switched on to a scene inside a bedroom with.
Okay, I'll stop you there. You said it switched. What was the space or the distance between this floor, this checkered room floor, and the bedroom?
I mean, like probably like 2 seconds.
Okay. Uh,
I mean that is switched. You know, about 2 seconds, a second. I mean, it switched to a bedroom where Robert Kelly was engaging with sexual acts, but then he put lotion on her face during that time of the sex act.
Okay, so you're describing two different sex scenes.
Yes.
What was that? It that was on the tape? Any other sex scenes?
I mean, no, just the urinate. The oral sex and the having sex.
Okay, you described two different sex scenes. Based on your observations, was it the same young lady as you said in the first scene as in the second scene?
Oh yeah, it was.
Was there sound on the video?
Oh yes, it was.
What, if anything, did you hear that you can recall today?
Rob giving the young lady orders to perform the acts that she was performing. I mean, she also said like Daddy, my hair messing up. I had to go to school tomorrow. Then Rob was giving her commands like, what do you want me to do to this? Okay, I gotta pause, man.
The hell?
What the
By
This
the
dude
way,
out
at
of
some
line.
point, it sounded like you were channeling your inner Ti or something. It was crazy.
man, this dude,
Right.
this
He out of line.
oh man,
He
look,
out of line, bro. He out
oh
of line.
man,
Yeah.
all out of line, bro. Like, damn.
He's
He
a
loses
And
monster.
I
his
know this
cool.
it's hard. I know it's hard to read, but it's about to get real, real. Trigger warning for people. Just want to
Yeah,
put
this
that
is
trigger warning
Wow.
out there.
Yeah, shit. I gotta mute real quick, man.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Dang.
Boy, this shit crazy.
It is real crazy. Real crazy. That's why I can't even listen to his music no more because it's like that he's making his lyrics after
What?
a young
Somebody got
sex.
an echo. It's like somebody got extra device or something. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay,
No,
does
it's
it
not.
sound better now?
No.
All
I'm
right.
switching from my AirPods. Does it sound better?
All right.
Yeah.
So we start at 22.
Ooh.
Yeah, 22.
Yes, sir.
All right. And he was just giving more commands. Yelling like, "Yeah, Daddy, you want me to suck this 14-year-old pussy?" He was like, "Yeah, yeah." Just sexual acts. Them. Talking back and forth.
Okay. What did you then do after you made these observations on this tape? What did you do in that room?
I mean, I immediately made copies of the tape that I had.
Why did you make copies
I mean, I was
of the tape?
because I didn't trust Daryl and Jack Palladino to pay me my money.
How many copies of this tape did you make?
I mean, I want to say like three, four, like four, because I remember. I mean, I don't remember like three. I think I made three, because I had a total of four. Three pack of tape.
Three. You said 3 pack of tape.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 3 pack of tape. Back then, they came in a 3 pack.
So you.
I mean, I made a copy of all packages. It was. I mean, I made a copy of the pack of tapes that I bought from Walmart.
Okay, so we're gonna go forward in time.
Okay.
Okay, the early 2019.
Okay.
And in 2019, did you still have copies of this tape? These copies that you're talking about, you just made.
Yeah, I did.
And what did you do with the copies that you had at that time? Again, early 2019.
I mean, I turned them over to my attorney.
Why did you do that?
He had reached out to me. You know what I mean? He said, the police was coming to get me because my name came up that I was holding child pornography for Robert Kelly.
Did you indeed turn over to your lawyer? Turn them over to your lawyer?
Yeah, I did.
And if you know, what, if anything, did your lawyer do with those tapes?
I mean, he came to Chicago, to come get me, immunity for the merchandise that I had.
Okay, my question was, what, if anything, did your lawyer do with the tapes?
I mean, he turned them over to Chicago U.S. Attorney.
Turn them over to some law enforcement?
I mean, yeah, the law enforcement.
How many tapes?
2.
In preparation for your testimony today, did you have an opportunity to observe one of those tapes?
Yeah, I did.
I'm showing you what's been previously marked as Government Exhibit 002-1. Can you scroll
Yes.
down? Okay. Do you see that in front of you?
Yeah, I do.
You can open it up.
Okay.
Do you recognize Government Exhibit 002-1?
Yeah.
What is it?
I mean, it's the tape that I turned over to my attorney.
It's one of the. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, and that he turned over to law enforcement. Did that go down to it?
Yeah, you at 7.
Oh, okay, so it's one of the tapes that you turned over to your attorney,
Yeah, it is.
and that he turned over to law enforcement.
I mean, that he turned over to the law enforcement.
And you can close that and put it down. I'm showing you, or you have in front of you there, what previously admitted as the other, as was the tape, Government Exhibit 002. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Do you recognize that what Government Exhibit 002 is?
Yeah.
How is it that you recognize it?
I mean, it's the copy of the.
No, my question was, how is it that you recognize it?
I mean, through my initials on it, in writing.
Okay. And what is Government Exhibit 002?
It's a copy of Mr. Kelly's having sex with underage girl.
Is it a copy of the tape that you turned over to your uh, lawyer?
All right, so we're gonna stop there, y'all. Amazing job. Amazing
Good
job.
job.
So remember, we are at the top of 1393. Somebody type in the chat, please. The top of 1393. Oh man, let me write this down. 1393, bro.
Well, damn.
Man,
You did that.
you're a breath of fresh air, man.
Right.
Man.
It's good to have another man reading. Good God.
Hey, you feel me?
And
You
you
killed
doing
it.
the thing too. I love it.
Yeah, especially your
Hey,
2 voices. Shout out to your
listen,
Right. I was
it's
like,
flexibility.
right. It's
I was
right. See,
Multifaceted.
yeah,
Right.
like this dude, it's like I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? It's all bull, but at certain parts, just me saying it, Like,
Mm.
dude, stupid as hell though. I
Bro,
swear to you,
it's
I'm trying not to laugh in a lot of this shit, bro.
right,
You know what I mean? When it get, it's certain parts, like, you know what I mean, where I gotta stop, like, okay, when, like, I'm listening to what he's saying, like, okay, all right, cool. I gotta stop for a minute. You know what I mean? And just how blatantly, just lackadaisical, he just saying, what he's saying, you know what I'm saying, and been covering this
bro.
shit up. You know what I'm
He the
saying?
type
So
of
it's
dude.
like,
He the type of dude. If you need something to get done, that
yeah,
you
he
want to
gonna
go
get it
do it.
done.
He
He
gonna
gonna
get it
get
done.
it done. I mean, look now, given the sense of what's going on with the state of what it is, that's fucked up. But
It is
if it was something like, hey, that's kind of the person. If it's some positive shit, that's the person you kind of really want to have around you, though.
indeed, indeed.
And
And
also,
think about
I don't
this.
Until
blame him for making those copies. I wouldn't trust them
I
either.
don't.
Hell
I
But
no.
wait,
don't.
but wait a
Listen,
minute.
I would have
And I
did the
love the fact that
same
the criminal,
shit.
I love the fact that the criminal, quote unquote, is the one that required a contract.
Yes,
Shout out to him.
yes. Because why? No, this is the reason why though. By him being a criminal, he know that these people are tied
Because
bonds at
criminals
the end
know
of
a
the day.
criminal. That's
So
why they don't
he
trust
gotta
people.
you know what I'm saying? So he know that they are still tied by legacy to contracts and accounts and all this other type of entities. So he know I'm I have legal contracts is legally bonded. I know I need to have something just written. Why? Because this nigga can't read, write, or math.
Right.
But he didn't
Or
know that back
math.
then. He just don't trust them because
He
he
did
just know
he
what he
right
was doing in
because
the back of his
right,
mind.
but exactly. That's what I'm saying though. But it's just that same he from Kansas City. Kels is from Chicago. I hate to say it, from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Like he know.
Yeah,
But
but
you
he
know what? He said that he bought a 3-pack videotape
yeah, but
of
he only
these,
done turned over
which
two of
I
them.
I
So he
was
don't
like,
trust
dang,
the
they
other
did
one.
send those in 3 packs back in the day.
They
But he
did.
bought
Listen, I don't
three
even
packs,
remember that.
and he
I
only
do.
turned in 2.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's probably because I think he gave one to McDavid, and then when they asked if he had
No,
more
he was
money,
supposed to have been given the one that he got from Lisa Van Allen to
no,
McDavid,
yeah,
and
no, no,
and
he
three
still had 3
copies.
because
Right.
remember he said he
yeah,
had 4
but
tapes.
I know, but
Right. So he
I
still
think
had
he
one
ended up
more.
giving a second copy,
Right.
probably when he passed the lie detector
And
test if
peep
he
this,
ended
y'all.
up taking
I
a
don't know if
different
y'all
one.
realize it, but just think about it. If y'all realize this man, all of his when he came on, he named all of his different businesses. This man, I hate to say it, he was a very smart criminal because now he don't wash his money that he got from R.
Right.
Kelly and sold it to the
Yeah,
business.
Yeah.
Exactly. I
And the
can't
yeah,
blame. That's
success,
why
like
I'm saying
shout
I
out to
can't
him.
blame
the
him.
success
That's
of
what I'm
these
saying.
businesses are on the back of these little black girls and boys, and that's what's the sick part about it, though.
Right. He was covering himself because even knowing that regardless of the fact, whether knowingly or unknowingly, you can still be charged and be convicted of something that you knew you had no knowledge of just because
Right.
while you was the so.
Yep.
And also shout out to him for literally keeping VCR tapes for 20 years.
Yeah,
Thank you,
seriously.
Dollar. Thank you. He did better. Hey, but he did better than the parents though from yesterday.
Listen,
Mm.
I feel like
You
True.
see what I'm
if he was
saying?
one of the
They
parents, like
knew
this
what they
wouldn't have
was
happened to
doing.
that girl. Yeah. Like
It wouldn't have
But
happened. It
he
wouldn't have
got
got
more
that far.
money. He got more money. He flipped the money better. He,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like
but
20
yeah,
years later, what do you guys have to show for it?
there's
Parents.
a
And
lot of people that don't have nothing to show for the money that they got from him. But that
yeah,
man,
including Lisa Van Allen, all them. But he got business
Right.
after business. He owned houses. Come
Exactly.
through.
Exactly. He did his
Come
own
through.
thing. He moved around. You know what I mean?
And
So I
and
don't knock him at all.
and he's only 52. He's younger than R.
Thank you.
Kelly. He's living.
Thank you.
So
He's younger than him and he's still out and still got his bread and got full immunity.
yeah.
That's why
Right.
I thought
You
that's
he
know
why
was
what?
some of
Shout
it
innocent.
out. Mr.
for
Freeman,
real.
shout out.
Yeah,
It
because
was something that he
he would have
did
been
that had me
in the
laughing.
same in the same predicament because he was over there making copies of it
Mm-hmm.
and distributing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was something that he said. I can't remember what it was, but I had to say it out loud whenever he said something. I can't remember what it was. Y'all remember that?
We don't know which one you were talking about though.
El
I,
Cayman so much. This fool
it
was
was
driving out
bad.
of
This shit was
control.
funny, man. It wasn't, but you
I,
know what I mean.
yeah,
Certain parts, he was a, you know what I mean. Certain parts, because you could tell that he knew that he. Again, when you coming in the game, when you coming in the court, and you know you got
yeah.
full immunity, and you got your money, and you can say exactly what you finna put extra on it at times. You go show some remorse on certain parts because it's still, you know what I mean, you seeing him do some foul, you know what I'm saying, doing some extra shit with somebody that shouldn't be done at all.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So you're gonna have moments of where you reflect and be like, okay, damn, that could be my niece, my nephew, you know what I'm saying? Anybody. But then at the end of the day, shit, I'm gonna get this guap though.
Indeed. Well, y'all listen. I know people got to get up and go to work tomorrow, but y'all did an amazing job. Thank you, everybody. So tomorrow, we're gonna have the music battle at 7:00 Eastern Standard Time. I was hoping we could come back tomorrow night at 9 to finish this up. If Johan, if you're available, that'll be awesome because everybody's saying that you're the only one they want to be Showtime. So we're gonna
well,
it's
showtime then. Well, it's showtime then.
It's showtime then. So tomorrow night, so 7:00, for those of y'all want to come watch the music battle, come back after the music battle. We're gonna go straight into reading the transcripts. Ladies, if y'all could come back, that will be great. And y'all, if you see at the bottom, we are still raising money so we can get the next level of transcripts. We have enough for the transcript for today. But we need to focus on possibly tomorrow. That will be great. So everyone that can pitch in to help us continue to build, to keep these things coming, then that will be awesome. We don't mind, reading these for y'all and trying to bring it to life, bringing y'all to the courtroom. But if we all pitch in, we'll be able to keep this thing going. We got about after this week, we got about 2 more weeks of testimony, maybe another one. We'll see how long the government does. But y'all did an excellent job. Thank y'all so much. And everybody have a blessed night.
Yeah, and it works out so much better when we have more people.
Yeah, it was.
Indeed. Everybody got to take a little break. So y'all will be here tomorrow night for the transcripts at 9:00. I will schedule it. And to a precursor to the transcripts, we're going to have the music battle. And y'all can come and check that out also. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a blessed night.
Peace and blessings.
Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Bye.
Oh, no. I don't need negative energy. Wrap me in positive synergy. I have been doubted through life. Been never done that with trifling people who told me my style would not work. I told them they wrong. Been struggling too long. This song is for you. I'm proving you wrong. Get out my way. Get out my way. Get out my way. Get out my way.
I'm a genuine person. Like if I love you, I love you. If I don't mess with you, I don't mess with you. It's as simple as that.